don't see how we can make bigger enemies.
To be offended or frightened of everything.
So you've become like the sort of Tony Scarface of podcasting.
We're good?
See,
Good morning! Welcome to the morning show. It's Friday and George is back with us. Well, on Skype, he's not back in the studio, but he's back. Welcome to the morning show. Producing the morning show, as always, is the Poseidon. The Poseidon69 is where you can find him on the internet doing all kinds of weird stuff, playing with children on Twitch, or sometimes just sharing sexy photos of himself on Instagram.
yeah,
Fucking just thirst trapping away.
I want to call that thirst trapping. I'd call that
Fucking parched trapping. Parched. So dry. You're all dry now.
No, just
Coming straight from Broussard, our news correspondent, former political candidate, and man behind the scenes, George Chandrizos. George has two podcasts. One is the Backstage podcast, where he talks to people in the public sphere of influence, if you will. He tried doing the Seinfeld thing and driving around with them in the car, but it got uncomfortable. So he started doing it from his basement. Whatever. His other podcast, also live from the basement of Broussard, Just Us Dads, where he gets together with his childhood friends who are all now fathers as well, and they discuss the ins and the outs of disciplining your children without leaving marks. Teachers, they're yappy. Patreon.com/Pantelis is where you can support all the endeavors of this famous, infamous, if you will, channel, helmed by the Pantelis himself. Join the Patreon. There's all kind of cool stuff on the Patreon. You get early access. You get Patreon exclusives. And it's really the only way to support what is happening over here. My name is Phil Balabanos, balabanos.com. If you want to know more about me, check out my podcast. It's inappropriately named, but aptly so. Fill My Hole. Once a week, every Wednesday. Go check it out. And George, you guys have something good for me. I know it. You wouldn't share it with me before the show. You and Poseidon were giggling like fucking schoolgirls. I want to know what it was. So open with that.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Good. I saw this yesterday come by my news feed, and I didn't give it too much importance. I was like, this is ridiculous. Well, what a waste of time. And then I was going through, my feed again to see what we're going to talk about today. It came up, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw this in there or whatever. They'll probably have a laugh, wonder where the fuck we're going.
I'm actually starting to hate the city.
So
Let's see it. I want to see it. Are we going to see it?
No, it's not visual.
Oh.
The city of Montreal
Okay.
decided, and I don't know how they make these decisions. Like this, I'm very curious to know who proposed this, who actually sat down to think, okay, let's figure this out, and then also I want to know the different options that there were for the solution that they came up with. So the city of Montreal, and I don't know why, they thought that the big trucks, the city trucks,
What trucks?
the city of Montreal trucks that pick up whatever
Homeless people.
Garbage trucks, bulldozers.
Oh.
or any
Okay.
public works.
Okay, public works
trucks or
vehicles.
whatever. They were too much of a bother for people, especially when they were backing up. They were causing too much noise, and they thought that
You mean the
sound
beeping?
that they make, the beeping sound was annoying.
Boop.
They thought, let's come up with something different.
Oh no. Like a gender neutral beeping.
So this is it. So just I'm gonna. It was a beeping sound. It was like beep beep beep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all heard that noise. This is what it's going to be from now on.
Oh god. Wait, is that it?
Yep.
We went from a beeping noise to a.
That is the strangest sound I've ever heard. I would. The beeping sound is supposed to alert you to not get fucking rolled over on.
Exactly. So that's my first reflex was, okay, are they doing this because they don't want to annoy people that may be sleeping early in the morning or late at night when
This is
they're
the dumbest
working?
thing.
I think it's because of the truckers.
Or is it important to have the beep because like a senior citizen that is walking by and that the bulldozer or whatever the truck doesn't see him could maybe hear him coming if it beeps rather than a.
That sounds like a fucking. It sounds like a porn star farting.
What if I'm annoyed and triggered by their decision? What if I'm annoyed and triggered by their decision to change it?
I don't think that matters. Being a white man, no one cares what you think.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. No, but that sounds not very different from the hydraulics on a garbage truck. I would just assume it's crushing trash, and then I'd get crushed.
No, it's horrible, and we've seen like I don't know if it happens every year, but it happens quite often that trucks, especially wintertime, they don't see the pedestrians. They're too high up.
On their
or
fucking
stuff in the way.
soapboxes, huh?
Sorry.
Too fucking high up on their soapboxes, preaching.
Yeah. No, but I think the beeping sound is.
I
is
mean,
a good
look,
way to alert
I'll be
people.
honest, George. I don't care either way because I'm not an
Yeah,
idiot.
I don't care. That's
but
why
it's
my
just
initial
weird. What a
reaction was
weird
like-
thing to spend money on.
Yeah, I'm like, who cares now about changing the beeping thing? But then when I this morning, I'm like, you know what? Let's just like who how do they make this decision? Like, what is it based on? You know, I just find it funny. You know, it's a.
I wish I could have been privy to that meeting where they're like, we have all these things going on in the city. The downtown core is basically bankrupt. Businesses are leaving mass
That's
exodus.
exactly what I said in the opening.
Coronavirus restrictions are causing businesses to be upset and go bankrupt. And also, there's this beeping sound in Valerie Plante's like, this beeping sound is a big problem for bicycles. It scares them. Let's get working on that.
Yeah,
Come
let's
on.
get cracking.
Let's get cracking. Yeah. She's like, especially now that I don't have my car anymore. We need some sounds in the city.
Isn't this going to
Think
put
carefully.
cyclists in danger a little bit more? Let's say
She
they can-
probably thinks no. I think you're probably right about that
I think
one.
I'm probably right.
I'm willing to let the chips fall where they may. Let's find out what happens.
You know what? So am I this time.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Darwinism. Let's see what happens.
Bro, we start changing so much shit for dumb reasons that people start
Actually,
dying.
the other day I was driving
The real
on
pandemic is stupidity.
It is, yeah. We are the virus. I was on curbs, and there's a bike lane on curbs, right?
I
Is
don't
it curbs?
know. Is it? It's
Yeah,
There's two.
There's two. So a cyclist almost hit me. I mean, I wasn't even moving. I was at a red light, and he starts yelling at me. I was like, so I open my window. I'm like, can I help you? He's like, you got to be more careful. I'm like, be more careful when I'm stopped. And he just looked at me. He's like, were you stopped? I go, were you not sure? You shouldn't be fucking riding a bicycle. So taking away a loud sound that might save them, I mean, I'm willing to let it. Let's see. This guy didn't know I wasn't moving.
I'm for this.
He's also riding a bicycle in the winter, which I think
Yeah.
should be illegal.
Oh,
that
bro,
should be illegal.
I
It should
saw
be-
I saw people, bro, on Rue Meilleur, bro. I was driving up in the middle of the night, bro. I think it was 9 p.m. 3 cyclists side by side, bro. They took up the whole lane, bro. to
They were
their
just
balls.
chatting.
No,
Were they
just-
holding kumbaya
They were
hands?
casually cycling, bro.
I mean, if you're driving on Meilleur, which is
Bro.
very poorly named because it's not, you got to expect that shit like that's going to happen. It's either that or you see like an LGBTQ orgy in the street while listening to like, I don't know, Manu Chao. Like that's the kind of stuff that happens around there.
Bro, I got so angry.
Manu Chao's okay, actually. I like Manu Chao.
yeah.
I've never.
What are you viewing? What is that? I recognize that.
It's a song.
He's so cute.
I find the beeping sound in grocery stores highly offensive because
What beeping sound?
when you scan your items, it go beep, beep.
I wish when they scan stuff, it would just go ching,
Yeah.
ching. Like I could hear my money fucking going away.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it
but
would go, "You're poor."
I remember when they
That's a bit
changed.
much.
I remember when they changed the sirens to the. Is it the ambulance or the cops? I can't remember.
What do they do?
This is recent. It's not like a normal sound. Like there's like this humming in it. Like it looks like a. I don't know. It feels like there's like an engine kind of revving.
Well, now they have that new the honk sound that they have, right?
Yeah, they always had that,
Did
but
they?
it's like it's not like a
So they put like a
normal
low
sound.
frequency sound
You
in
hear-
it.
Yeah, you hear like a like there's like this bassy kind of revving sound.
Maybe it was added for like the hearing impaired because they can feel the vibration more.
I'm not sure about
I wonder.
Well,
But
if
I
you're
have no
hearing
idea.
impaired, you're not driving a car.
That's
that
not
was
true.
cool though.
Deaf people can drive.
Excuse me. Since when?
Well, I don't know, George. Are the hearing impaired allowed to drive?
Are we going to start allowing blind people as well?
I don't think blind people are allowed to drive, but I'm pretty. Well, you never know, but I don't think that would be safe. But I do think people who have.
No.
Well, look,
I don't know.
If they're hearing impaired, they can technically like physically drive the car. I'm
And they
just
can
not
see.
Sure how? Yeah, they could see. They could like. I mean, they're able to drive. I'm just not sure how safe it is.
I find the police sirens highly offensive and disrupting.
Are you just gonna make the same joke over and over again
Yes,
until I
bro.
laugh at it?
No, because I want people to
Stop.
understand the stupidity.
Okay, re-explain your joke to everyone. That always makes it funnier. Go. What else you got, George?
Okay.
I wish you could see him, honestly. Between the weird look he gave me, the tongue out, and the velour tracksuit, it's weird.
Why isn't he on frame? Like I don't.
It's better this way. Otherwise, we just forget being demonetized. We'd be deplatformed.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me get my stuff over here. All
I
right.
w- Insane Mo thinks we should have a lion growling sound. That'll get people fucking moving.
No, but instead of it just goes rar like that. rar, hey, rar. For the truck backing up, it's rar, rar.
The truck, instead of beeping, it's like, whoa, hot stuff coming through. Move it, beep, beep, beep.
Yes, that just goes
Queen.
yes. And or it goes queen, queen, queen.
You're on something
Hey.
there. Queen, 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 queen. Queen, queen. What else you got, George? The
Right.
fucking city's a cesspit. Yeah, go on.
There's a bunch of information coming out now with respect to the decision that the provincial government took last December to impose a curfew. Obviously, we've spoken about this. We were all very upset about it happening.
We actually didn't speak about this. Oh, wait, no, I jumped ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
Because you weren't here on Wednesday.
nobody was able to kind of understand the logic behind it.
Including, apparently, the people who put it in place.
Yeah. And there's an article that came out yesterday, I think. Hold on, let me try and get it here.
So for anyone, while George looks, for anyone thinking about what we're talking about, it's when they brought out especially the second curfew.
Yeah.
And we were asking, like, where's the science that says the curfews work? And people were making those nocturnal virus jokes. And then they said, listen, we got the science. Turns out, George.
So there's a journalist, Thomas Gerbet, he writes in La Presse, who came out with this. Or was it reported first in Radio Canada? I can't remember. In any
It doesn't
case,
matter.
there's information that came out to the effect that the former health director, Dr. Arruda, was in panic mode hours before the government made this announcement on the 30th of December. If you guys remember, it was like one day before the new year.
George, doesn't he remind you of Latino Groucho Marx?
Who? Arruda?
Yeah, like a Latin. He's just like, he's got this like wackiness about him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like I can picture him running around going, we need more information. He's just fucking all day.
So, I mean, there was insufficient evidence for him as the health director to justify this decision by the premier.
Right.
And there's reports now that came out because they have email exchanges of him requesting urgent documentation with lines and communication points, like briefs, in order for him to come to the announcement and give any credible, justifiable answers about the government imposing the curfew. And the answer that they got, and I'm gonna read you guys because it's in French, but an excerpt of one email. This comes from Dr. Arruda's office, and it says, Horacio souhaite que vous et vos équipes lui fournissiez un argumentaire en lien avec le couvre-feu en prévision des questions des journalistes en conférence de presse de 5 heures ce soir. So someone, from his office, okay. So the answer they get back from the ENSPQ, so the Institut National de la Santé Publique, they write back, du côté de l'INSPQ, nous n'avons pas d'analyse existante qui porte spécifiquement sur le couvre-feu et nous sommes malheureusement dans l'impossibilité d'en produire une aujourd'hui avec un si court avis. So like they have
Well,
absolutely
loose translation because not everyone speaks French, George.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we've never analyzed this because it seems silly. I'm paraphrasing.
That's a very, very
But
loose
has this been corroborated like by other sources within the INSPQ or it's just the whatever the story says? We don't know.
This is at first what comes out, and they're like, curious, what the hell's going on there? So they try to look into this further, right? And let's not forget that end of December, when the government was kind of hinting that there's these measures that were going to be put in place, Montreal's health director Mylène Drouin came out against it. She's like, there's no valid reason that justifies this. We shouldn't be doing this. This is going to take us down a path that is counterproductive. And she was fucking stoned practically, the poor lady. Now, the only thing that remains is this document, because Premier Legault had come out and said that we looked at different information, and there's like there's an ethical recommendation that we asked for that came in and told us that this is probably the best way to go forward, and that's what he used to justify him imposing this curfew. The question now is the issue now is that the journalists, through the accès à l'information, they have the right to request certain information as journalists, public information.
Mm-hmm.
So they requested this document. It came back completely blacked out. Not even
It's
one
fully
line.
redacted.
Everything is redacted, like nothing. They can't read anything in this ethical recommendation to know exactly.
That's amazing. Why would you even send it at that point?
Yeah, exactly. Like it's ridiculous. The shit.
I mean,
that
can I just play devil's advocate for a second? I was against the curfew. I always was. I thought it was a massive encroachment on our civil liberties. I did. But I'm not even going to pretend to not understand what they were doing. Right? Like, I'm not stupid. I understand why they thought we needed a curfew. Based on the garbage they were spewing at us at the time, I'm talking about the second curfew, not the first one. I'm not even going to talk about that. I chalked that up to we still didn't know what the fuck was happening.
No, the first one was still pointless. We knew that.
I know it was pointless. We knew that, but I don't know if the government had realized.
They did.
I don't know.
They
I
had come
can't-
out and said that we're not going to do that. It's unscientific. And then they went and did it.
I'm still chalking up that whole first year. For me, it's a mulligan, the first year. I'm not going to lay any blame in the first year.
Yeah, we were all kind of in this together, kind of.
No, we were not. We were all in it very differently.
Yes.
But I understand that there was still a lot of confusion, and it was unclear still what was happening for most people, right? We had just come out of a massive lockdown, the first of its kind in history, so I'm going to let it slide. It's the second year that pisses me off, because now we're officially, it's been 2 years since our first lockdown, right? I think tomorrow, is that right? What's the date?
No.
No, it's in like a week.
Yeah.
It's in like a week. We're
I
going
would
to
say
have a
it's
big
on
party.
the 13th or 14th.
Yeah, the lockdowns, the new world turns 2. So the logic that as I understood it, assuming that you believe that they believed all of the dangers and the statistics and all of that, was if we limit people's ability to go around after hours, it means fewer people will be going to each other's homes, and that way we can keep them home and make it look like we're doing something. I'm not saying that was right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what they were doing. It's very obvious. You don't need a lot of science to realize that that's probably effective, not in curbing transmission, but in getting people to stay home without having to impose another lockdown. I mean, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's more of a statistical analysis of human behavior. You make it difficult for people. It's a war of attrition. You make it difficult for people, they will stay home, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't break curfew that often, to be honest. Yeah. It was just a hassle. I had gotten stopped a few times coming here to work. It was just a pain in the ass. So the idea that now we're finding out that he was begging for scraps, like, give me a little bit of tiny science, just a little science. I'm not surprised.
But again, because the other controversy in this whole situation is that he said when he did that they're basing themselves entirely on science and the recommendations of the health the health department, which is not true. Now we know that it isn't true. So,
but Horatio said that, or Franco said that?
Legault had said that this decision, everything that we're deciding, all decisions have been made based on recommendations from the health.
Yeah. But we know now that he was just saying that.
Exactly.
We've always known. Let's be serious.
Now, especially with this information that came out, even though I think everyone had kind of suspected it before, there's actual tangible documentation now that proves that you had nothing. You had fuck all.
Remember
And
when you remember when Aruda quit and I said, what if he just couldn't bear to be part of this fucking lie anymore and he just quit?
For sure, there was.
I want to believe that he's a good dude. Honestly, I do.
Yeah,
I want to
think
believe that.
Definitely, it was difficult for him to do this work, especially when
Like you've been in a position where your boss, your job required you to just lie to people all the time, right? Like, how did that make you feel? How did you sleep at night, George? What do you mean you didn't know where he was? I didn't know where he was. So you're a liar or you're bad at your job? Which one is it? You shitty handler?
So this is.
I wish Pantelis was here for that.
So this is horrible. So they didn't have any information, and then the other controversy, and we're going back to Mylène Drouin, who's the health director in Montreal, who had requested, when she came out, she said, "Listen, there's insufficient evidence to what is the scientific proof that you have that curfews work?" And there's this whole exchange between her and the health department, the ENSPQ, this whole argumentaire there about why she believes that this should not happen.
Okay.
That media asked to have as well to be made public, and that was refused. So
well, I'm sure they'll supply it eventually, but it'll be blacked out.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
when did public health decision documents and get on the same level of fucking, I don't know, disclosure of UFOs? Like, think about that for a second.
Guys,
why are we redacting these?
It's ridiculous, and the way that the journalist, because I saw it on Twitter, and he's like, okay, well, we have access to information, and we now have the document to show us exactly what went on. Here it is. So you're thinking, oh, cool, wow, well, where's the document?
Can't wait to read it.
Picture of it, and the whole thing is just blacked out. It's so funny.
It's fucking crazy, honestly.
It's ridiculous, is what it is. In any case, thankfully, we're coming out of this. Those news that came out before yesterday, to the effect that by early April, all masks will be gone, all mandates will be lifted. So it looks like we're going to have a normal spring and summer, which I think, in fact, I know that many people have.
Well, normal. I mean, there's a war boiling up in Europe, so I wonder.
In our context over here, right? I mean,
don't say that, because things happening in Europe, more so than in the Middle East, will affect us.
It will, yeah, it will. You're right. And I read yesterday that the city of Montreal has been preparing to receive Ukrainian refugees.
Did you see the cap that they put on the Trudeau announced yesterday? He's letting in an unlimited amount of Ukrainian refugees. I commend his open big heart, truly, I do. But I mean, how do we manage that? Where's the logistics behind that?
Yeah, you need to be specific.
Yeah, it has to be. And I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, I want these people to have somewhere safe to go, obviously.
Absolutely.
But like, unlimited? What if the entirety of the Ukraine is like, you know what? Fuck it. Canada sounds nice. Let's go.
Let's all go.
I have cousin in Toronto. Let's do it.
Yeah.
What the fuck happens then?
Yeah, you need to be specific, especially for operations of this magnitude. And I remember back with the war in Syria, where Quebec took in 35,000 refugees. It was a huge operation of logistics and how to receive them. Where do we put them? Who's going to take care of them? Health insurance, schooling, all these things that have to be taken into consideration.
The big difference now, I think, compared to Syria, which had been ravaged by war for a generation almost.
Yeah.
A lot of the Ukrainians fleeing are not fleeing with nothing now, right? Like the whole cryptocurrency headlines that have been happening in the Ukraine, like people are actually leaving with their entire life's saving on a ledger, so that wherever they arrive, they're not going to be like poor. I mean, if they were poor when they lived in the Ukraine, they'll probably be poor when they arrive whenever they're going. Yeah. But like the middle class, the upper middle class Ukrainians, they won't arrive poor. Yeah. Which with immigration you see, but with refugee claimants you don't see. They arrive with nothing most of the time.
Speaking of Ukrainian refugees, I think we need to give a huge shout out to Poland, who have been so good at taking in all these.
They really have been, yeah.
All these refugees. There are.
What about Romania too? No.
Romania as well, but most of them have been going to Poland. I've been reading reports that there's people as far as Germany that have driven all the way to the border with Poland to receive refugees and bring them to Germany, like on their own. They've driven them.
Imagine how uncomfortable that must be for like the Polish border police. They're like, what do you see over there? I see a lot of Germans driving this way. They're like, what? Sound the alarm. No, hold on. Let's see how this plays out. No, we can't. We can't allow this. I think this time they're here for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
They're here to take people out of the country. It's like, wait, that's what they said last time.
Yeah. So no, they're doing a very good job, and from what I'm reading, it's very well organized. They have even put out, and I think Pantelis retweeted this the other day. They put out this big statement that, listen, we have room for your pets. Don't leave your pets behind. Bring them. Don't worry about it. We have facilities for that, and we have everything ready to receive you. Yeah. Poland is doing a great job, and obviously the other countries around the Ukraine that are receiving the.
Yeah, I know Romania has been armed, like ready in case, right? So the borders are heavily militarized right now.
NATO has been heavily militarizing those areas.
Did you see late last night, George? Did I send it to you? I don't remember the. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Zaratsyvia, the largest nuclear reactor in Europe.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about this today because Russians. Well, let's talk about that now. Okay. So they attacked this huge nuclear plant in the Ukraine. Apparently, it's the biggest one in Europe.
Yeah, it is.
And they just bombed it. Fuck, you know what I mean? Anyways, there was a fire that it caught fire, and everyone.
I couldn't understand. Just for clarity's sake, I was reading the reports as they were happening. I found a mention of it on RT. Believe it or not.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Well, listen.
It's good.
I'll read from both. I'll read from both sides. I want to see.
I'm expecting a completely different story from what like CNN was reporting live.
No, it seemed to be pretty much standard across the board. The one thing I couldn't understand from any of the sources that I read it is, were they firing on the reactor building, like the administrative building, right, like the control, or did it get fired upon because there was fighting happening in front of it?
The images that I saw, because it was a live stream, I think.
I sent the live stream, but you couldn't see shit in the live stream. It was the middle of the night. It was dark. It was grainy.
You see heavy artillery, you see them attacking the building.
George, I'm gonna say something crazy, but for all I know, that was a fake live stream. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's real, because I really could not make out anything.
But in any case, to go back to your point, because it caught fire and everybody was panicking because there were reports coming out from the scientists in Ukraine to the effect that if this blows up, it could be 10 times worse than Chernobyl was.
I mean, but a nuclear reactor doesn't just explode; it leaks, right? Even Chernobyl, it exploded, but it wasn't like a fucking A-bomb.
Yeah. So they were monitoring the radiation levels. Everything was pretty standard. But then now this morning when I was looking at it, they say, well, obviously the fire is out. And it wasn't the actual nuclear plant that caught fire, but it was like this training facility that they had, like these administrative offices next to it. The worrying thing in this situation, thankfully, it wasn't worse than what it was. Thank God, because nobody wants to have a situation where
I saw a lot of fan flaming happening on the internet last night. People were like, look, the Russians are attacking. They're going to nuke us without nuking us. Like, people just jumping to conclusions.
Well, because the worrying thing now is that the Russian forces have occupied that plant, right? Mm-hmm. And they have also taken over. I think this happened last week. They occupied Chernobyl, the Chernobyl plant.
I want to believe that Pantelis was right, and the only reason Russia's doing all of this is to protect us because there's monsters at Chernobyl. That's what I want to believe. That's my truth.
Yeah, that's the beautiful truth about this. Like
that would be amazing.
That would be phenomenal.
Comes out, he's like, look, I'm sorry I piss everyone off and kill many people, but monsters. And we're like, look, well, fucking Godzilla.
Aliens.
They have Godzilla there, so he fucking okay.
That would be nice.
That would be a best case scenario. I know it's still terrible,
but Phil, we do not live in a fairy tale.
We do not live in a fairy tale. But I want to believe that. I don't believe it.
Everyone now is very suspicious as per why the Russians want to occupy nuclear plants.
I'm really not sure why they would want to occupy Chernobyl. I mean, anyone you send in there is going to get kind of sick eventually if they stay too long.
Yeah,
it's still radioactive. Also, the idea that they would fire on the largest, like actively try to destroy and create a meltdown situation in a reactor that's so big and so close to their border I mean, why would they do that?
Yeah.
It's one thing to bomb a city across your border. You're not hurting yourself. You're bombing people. You're doing what you want to do. You're being an asshole. But
Yeah.
why would you try, like, the radiation cloud that would leave and go up? I mean, what? It wouldn't go to Russia? Be like, no, Russian here, friendly. Let's go this way. Like, no, you don't know. Even he's a crazy person, but he's self-serving. Why would he do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My money's on it was inadvertent. They were not, because every headline from the States was like, they're firing on it. They're trying to destroy. I'm like, why? Why would they do that? It seems like this thing, whatever happened last night, whatever damage was done, was a casualty of war. It wasn't like an organized strike against that power plant. Unless they were trying to take control of it so they can cut power.
Well,
That makes sense.
They
I was about to
obviously
say that.
want they definitely want to take control because that's what happened. I mean, they occupied it now, so it's in their control.
and Chernobyl has been safe since 2011, by the way.
To just go hang out at.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get up in there. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, look, since 2011, when authorities deemed it safe to visit.
Not to stay for long periods of time, though. They're still active. Like,
I
it's
would
not just
still- I would
background
still-
radiation.
I would still never visit that place.
I do not want to go to Chernobyl.
Why not? You don't want an extra set of arms, George?
No.
Why is it always an extra set of arms with you? Every version of mutation for you makes it easier for you to masturbate. Have you noticed that? Or put a finger in your ass. Last week you're like, what if it grows out of my back? I'm like, why would
Well, I'm
just
just
fucking sticking a finger
No,
in your
I'm
own
just
ass?
thinking of the convenience, bro. Like you could do so much with
I
forearms.
stand by what I just said 1,000%.
No, but like
You
could do-
proved my point.
But look at octopi.
Yes, let's look at octopi.
Look at them. Look at how maneuverable and fucking
Stop. Just stop.
Anyway, thankfully, nothing.
What's wrong with
nothing worse came out of that. But the other worrying thing now in Russia
One of
is
many.
that, and I'm not sure if it passed already, but they were talking about that in the Russian parliament to impose an urgent legislation to imprison everyone or anyone that they believe is putting out fake news.
Hold on. Russia wants to punish people who are putting out fake news?
Yeah.
Go on.
So there you have it. So, who's going to decide, who's going to be the one deciding this is fake news, send him to jail. This is,
George, I talked about this on my own podcast, but I'll say it again. The only difference between Russia and the West, and so like NATO allies, is that we pretend like we're not doing it. He's super obvious about it. That's the only difference. It's all marketing. They're both doing that. I don't mean we, us. I mean the governments, the people in charge, the leaders, the ministers. Here it's like, we're doing it for the democracy, for the people, for the this. Putin's like, yeah, I do for people what is best. That is all. Like, but why'd you take that huge bribe? Shut up. Too many questions. Fake news. Goodbye. Like,
Yeah,
that's
goodbye.
the only
12
difference.
years.
The only
12 years in
difference,
jail.
yeah.
So
12 years. That's a light sentence.
Everyone got, and I'm not sure. Again, I'm not because things are happening very quickly. I'm not sure if they finally imposed martial law in Russia, but there were rumors that they might. Everybody was fleeing the country because even journalists, everyone was just leaving because as soon as that's done, obviously the level of control, media, and mobility and everything that's gone out the window. And then, so I think that they may have, because in addition to that, then they passed this law to imprison everyone up to 12 years that provides fake news.
Such an what a weird. I really, honestly, this whole thing about the propaganda coming out of everywhere. I really wonder what's actually happening in the Ukraine.
Well, look, I follow. I'm watching CNN, and sometimes I flip over to the French to Radio Canada. There's excellent coverage.
No, you just mentioned CNN and Radio Canada. You are watching the same coverage from the same source in two different languages. That's it. You're not watching a balanced coverage of this at all.
What are you talking about? Look, you're talking about what's happening in Ukraine. So there's footage of what's happening in Ukraine.
Footage is not inherently truth. Just because you see, it's not about what's on camera or what was added. It's about what was left out.
Yeah. Well, guaranteed.
It's a conscious choice always, right? Like you need to watch. That's the problem. If you really want to know what's going on, you need to watch all of it. If you watch all of it, your mind goes You die inside.
But there's a lot of independent journalists also on the ground, right? Where there's a lot of live streams, and you get a lot of image. There's a lot of images of what's happening on the ground in the different cities in Ukraine. There's a lot of information coming out of Ukraine. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's propaganda on either side, right? Like yesterday,
You got to get like an average always.
Ukraine's president came out yesterday and warned the entire planet that if Ukraine falls, Russia is going to advance all the way to the Berlin Wall. You know what I mean? This is their goal. Latvia is next, Estonia, Lithuania. There's no end. So the guy's obviously
he's fanning the flames of war. And then you have the other Republicans yesterday, I forget who it was, going, someone inside Putin's government needs to be a hero, be a Brutus, kill him. I was like, what are you fucking doing? Imagine if someone in the news media of like, I don't know, fucking Saudi Arabia. Do they have news media? Are they allowed to have news media? Yeah, they must have something,
for sure.
Right? Yeah. Comes on and says, someone needs to fucking kill Sleepy Joe. Can you imagine what would happen? Can you imagine? And we have sitting fucking congressmen saying that. Some Canadian politicians have hinted at it a bit more subtly also.
Yeah. There's a lot of the strangest things that I'm reading are actually coming out of the U.S. media, and one in particular that keeps coming, and I've only heard it from U.S. media, is the idea that there seems to be a mole in the high ranks in Putin's entourage.
Get the fuck out of here! They're so full of shit.
That is leaking. That is working closely with Western intelligence services. And that is leaking information because the way they see it is that Ukraine forces are always one step ahead. So
look, if we're gonna believe the narrative, and I'm not saying it's not true, but if we're gonna assume for this conversation that we believe the narrative that Russia has invaded the Ukraine and the Ukrainians are fucking giving it to them, which if that is true, good for them. Then it's pretty straightforward. You have Russian soldiers who are well-trained but ill-equipped because they did not know they were going to fucking invade the Ukraine, which are basically other Russians. Like, the Ukrainians and the Russians are very similar. Like, culturally, they're very close.
They're Russians, but...
Yeah, they're like Newfies, right? They're like Russia's Newfoundland. No, I don't know if that's true. But, like, I mean, they're culturally related.
Yeah,
so it's like if Greece
invaded
invaded Cyprus. Like, Cyprus wouldn't be... the Cyprus would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Why are you here? Like, we're here to kill you. Why? Like, we literally have no reason, but we're here anyways. So the Ukrainians who are defending, again, if we're going to believe the narrative, they're defending their homeland. They're guarding against their border. Historically, that has always been an outnumbered force who's done well. Because you're fighting for something. That changes the entire dynamic of it. The numbers mean less in that instance. But
but also from a communications perspective, the team behind their president is doing a phenomenal job in encouraging and motivating Ukrainians. First of all, the fact that the guy didn't leave, he's in a bunker somewhere, and he's like, I'll stay here and I'll fight, and if you want,
don't go down the Zelensky rabbit hole right now, because I have big issues with it that I don't want to address because people will think they're unpopular, and I don't want to talk about them.
I'm just stating facts. The guy stayed there, and he's coming out daily talking to Ukrainians.
George, for all you fucking know, he's in a bunker in Latvia. You don't know where he is. So don't play this. Look, if he's a fucking hero, that's amazing.
No. Because the other day he had a little mini press conference where you had journalists that interviewed him. And I saw the interview. I can't remember the the field reporter, the CNN field reporter. So I doubt that it's in Latvia, unless that guy left and went to Latvia to interview him and came back to Russia.
Could be.
Anyways, who knows?
No, I'm just saying, like, the idea that the country has a national hero is important. I understand why it's good for the morale and the defense of the country. I'm not against it. Some propaganda is really good. It really is. It helps people feel hope. But it might not be true, so don't sing his song like the war hero of Zelensky. Like, we don't know. So don't put your foot in your mouth now, because we don't know.
We don't know where he is, or we don't know what he's saying. Because I'm saying
we know what he's saying. We know what he's saying. We just don't, like, that whole famous line, I don't need ride, I need ammunition. Like, that never happened. Let's be serious. That's too good of a line. Again, though, he's a former actor. And his wife is a screenwriter. So if she's the one fucking writing his scripts right now, it's all starting to make sense. Okay? Yeah. The narrative is too strong. Life and, like, true stories are not that good. They never are.
The other thing that I saw, which is obviously confusing in terms of the media that you follow, because I've been seeing on Twitter, these independent journalists who have pictures of Russian soldiers that have surrendered and that are being fed by Ukrainians. And there was one report where a couple of Russian soldiers surrendered, and they were given tea and bread, and they were given a phone to FaceTime their family.
I mean, we have a Geneva Convention. You're supposed to follow it.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that what I'm trying to say is that, but there were news from the Russian side that were saying that
They're ass fucking
it's
all our soldiers.
It's Ukrainian soldiers that are surrendering, and we're taking care of them. So it's like they're both playing.
And for the
into
rest
same
of us,
narrative.
let's be serious. We can't fucking tell them apart.
Yeah.
I can't tell Ukrainian language. Like Ukrainian is it basically Russian? I mean, it's very similar.
There has to be similarities.
It's
Yeah,
very
there has
close,
to
but
be-
it's its own distinct thing. But I can't tell the difference when I hear it. I hear kurva blet. They're Russians. I don't know.
For those interested, actually, right after this podcast at 12 o'clock, I put up an episode. It's airing. I reached out to an old friend. We used to work together in Greece. This guy is a specialist in conflict resolution and strategy. He's an expert in EU and NATO relations, specifically with Russia. And I brought him on. We spoke
Who's this
about
guy?
this. This guy is Mario.
Shouldn't you say his name for the podcast?
Yeah, Mario Sefthimiopoulos.
Oh, okay.
He's an academic. The guy, he knows his shit, in the region. And we spoke about that. And I asked him specifically, what is going on the ground? I mean, we're seeing all these reports. People are amazed by the fact that Ukraine has resisted for a week. Everybody thought within 48 to 72 hours, Ukraine would have been completely invaded. And he thinks that Russia still hasn't, they're obviously not done. But the forces on the ground, they're not Russia's real army.
No, they're just like advanced infantry.
Yeah, exactly. So there's much more to come, and what is to come has a huge risk of being much more violent and much more disastrous.
What no one's talking about, I mean, some sources are talking about it. What no one's really talking about is what the fuck is happening right now inside of Russia. The financial embargo on its citizens.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at
Yeah.
lineups like chaos, riots in the Moscow metro because Apple, in a true moment of virtue signaling, said we're no longer supporting services to the Russian people. The products that they sell.
Yeah, the question
the
is,
slave labor
Apple's not the only
stuff.
company to pull out their services.
Yeah, Nike. It's all virtue signaling. It's all nonsense anyways. All they're doing is punishing the citizens.
Yeah, the question that people are asking, though, is are they doing that to stick it to Russia for what they did, or are they doing it because of the economics that have gone to shit and they just can't provide the services
No,
anymore?
it seems to me like they're trying to choke the Russian people into turning on Putin. That's what it feels like to me.
It's very possible, but I'm saying you have a business that can no longer
Their
be
markets are shut down.
because the market is finished.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
Well, the market's not finished. I mean, the ruble is done. Like right
Yeah.
now, it's at its lowest it's been since I don't even know
Well,
when.
the Russian stock exchange has been closed for almost a week now.
Yeah.
5-6 days.
It can't crash if it's closed, right? They can't do it. They can't have a run on the banks and stuff if everything's closed.
So, I mean, these are unprecedented sanctions. The international community is targeting all these billionaires that seem to support the Russian regime and specifically that are close to Putin. It's going to have repercussions, obviously.
One of these Russian billionaires, he put a ransom out for Putin.
I saw that.
I was like, this
read
guy's
that.
going to get
$1
disappeared so fast.
It's like $1 million or something that he will pay from his personal account. This guy's in the U.S., I think. I read that. Yeah, I read that. But there's a lot of
Crazy.
them. There's some that are starting to come out. I read somewhere where there was this high Russian official from the Alpha Bank that came out and said that this is not right. We shouldn't be doing this. So I think that from what I'm reading and from what I'm hearing from different news sources is that the strategy is to affect the Putin's entourage and the source, the all the money sources that that is available to him, and you cut him off. At the same time, though, I'm also reading that he has already closed deals with China before even this happened.
Yeah,
right?
I've read that too, that maybe. But again, we don't know. I'll believe it when I see something come of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't trust anything that I'm reading anywhere.
Isn't that crazy though? Isn't that crazy that we've reached the point where what you read you need to question it 50,000 times, especially?
I
if
mean,
it
it's
comes
always
from
been
what
the
used to be
case.
considered a credible source.
No, we're never credible sources. They're always sources that were trying to further their cause. It's always been the case. I mean, We had propaganda like this during the Second World War, and that was a long time
There's
ago.
always been propaganda, for sure. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's been propaganda. We've seen propaganda documented from like ancient wars where they would spread a story.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like the story of Thermopylae. Like, I mean, that's a propaganda piece. That's like one of the first well-documented. They created this. I'm not saying it didn't happen. It happened, but they built it into this massive thing that unified an otherwise ununified and mixed up group of people who more or less were killing each other for a long time. And they're like, yeah, let's get together and murder these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, it brought them together for war. I mean, after the war, they went back to killing each other, but it worked for that moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Propaganda is a very powerful tool, especially in times of war.
So the other thing now happening is that obviously we know that this whole thing started according to what Russia's saying with the idea that Ukraine would become a NATO member country. There have been talks now in the European Union to accelerate the accession of Ukraine as an EU member state.
That seems safe.
So I'm not sure how that's happening. I know that a lot of EU member leaders are in favor, and I'm not sure how that works. I know that entry into the EU is a complicated process. There's different chapters that need to be completed and different criteria that needs to be examined. I don't know how it happens to bring in a country urgently. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I've never seen it happen. I mean,
I know
and there's
it
so
has
many
never happened.
variables.
It has never happened. It takes years for that to happen.
And there's a bunch of variables because you'd have to also convert them to the euro, right?
Not necessarily, because look at the UK. For a long time, they were an EU member state, but they were not part of the monetary union.
Right. That's true. So you can do the two things separately. That's a good point.
Yeah. So,
but at the same time, Turkey, for example, could veto it and be like, I don't want this problem with Russia. We're not doing this. You get one veto, you're fucked.
For what? They're not part of the EU, Turkey.
Oh, you're right. They're not part of the EU.
Yeah,
I was thinking of NATO.
Yeah.
I mean, who would veto this? Would anyone step out of line and say no?
I mean, there's 24, 25 EU member states, and it does take unanimous consent.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I wonder. They've never done anything like this, but I think it's a dangerous thing to fucking do.
Yeah, this is going to be a first. I'm not sure if they're going to succeed.
I mean, that's like fucking a bear is biting you, so you start flicking it in the testicles. That's the equivalent of it. It's like, yeah, fuck you. Ha.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that. And in looking at everything happening, you have countries now like Georgia and Moldova, who,
big fucking powerhouse nations.
Yesterday, they officially applied for EU membership. They're shitting their pants because.
Oh, so we're hitting both testicles. We're just doing this to the bear.
Especially Moldova, with everything happening and everything out there, they're thinking, shit, if Ukraine falls, we're probably next. Like, we're right there and we have zero capabilities.
Oh, we don't know if that's actually. We don't really know what his goal is here.
Who?
I'm not sure what Putin's end game is.
No. I'm not saying that's his goal. I'm saying from what we're hearing and
I'm not prepared to take that stand.
From what is being spread out there, that this is not going to end with Ukraine,
because it could be two things.
It's only logical for the neighboring countries around the Ukraine to start thinking, okay, let's.
I think a bunch of countries in that area joining the EU or NATO right now is a bad fucking call.
Yep.
That's a dangerous fucking situation. That literally is the opposite of what they're trying to accomplish.
I mean, look,
by gaining safety.
you can't blame these countries for trying to find solutions to eventually protect themselves in case of further expansion or invasion. I don't blame Moldova for saying, you know what, fuck, we're next. We need help here. Hey, EU, can we apply for membership, please?
How attacked has
here.
Moldova been, George?
Sorry?
How attacked has Moldova been?
Zero attack. But what I'm saying is that they're looking at.
I always thought Moldova was pro-Russia in general.
They were all former Soviet republics.
No, pro. I mean, in the modern
But what I'm
era.
saying is that given everything that's happening.
Not what I said.
You know what should have happened in the Middle East? When the Americans attacked, we should have had the same approach over there. All the countries should have united to fight America in the same fucking way.
Didn't they try with the Arab League?
No, the Arab League was
against
before that, but it
Israel,
never works. Yeah, the Arab League never. They should have done that. Hey, I heard that athletes and actors and musicians that are of Russian origin are getting banned from places, and that the Ukraine asked Xbox and PlayStation to ban Russian users from playing online.
It's gonna be lonely online.
How?
It's not. Well, it's because people are. We have that group mentality,
Look,
right?
guys, there's a
So
lot
you're
of
all-
fear.
you're
I
all,
read yesterday. I
enemies
read
by
yesterday that
association.
the NHL or the Washington Capitals got
Also, they're gonna train.
a bigger security detail around Ovechkin because apparently he's being threatened, or I
Yeah.
don't know exactly what is
That's
happening.
ridiculous.
Yeah, people are stupid.
Yeah.
And then this is why it's funny. A lot of the same people in the media that are saying this in the States were the same people that years ago were like, people are mean to me when I travel internationally because I'm American. I had nothing to do with the war. And they're doing the exact same thing. They're doing the same fucking thing.
We're not the good guys in this story.
I'm not
I've
I'm not
said
falling
this.
for this shit anymore. I'm done. And you shouldn't fall for it either.
I don't believe either side right now. That's my
Yeah,
problem.
it's so much bullshit. All those things that I believe, George, that were lies. The ghost of Kiev, lie. Those
That was
12
an
guys that
obvious
got
lie.
killed on Snake Island,
Less
lie.
obvious,
They're around.
less obvious.
Yeah, less obvious. All kinds of bullshit.
But how cool is that story though? Like for a movie. Hey, Russian
one?
whatever warship.
Island?
Yeah,
Go
well, it would have
fuck
been cool if it's
yourself.
real. You know what else would be cool? Would be a cool story if some kid from another planet we find a baby and it looks human and then
it
it
can
grows
fly.
up to become a superhero and that would be fucking crazy too, George. The problem is it's not real.
Isn't
Anyway,
it though?
so to go back to the EU,
Ew.
because you have Emmanuel Macron and Boris Johnson that have
sexy guys.
for a week now
Macron's
have been
alright
arguing
looking, yeah.
that
Boris, though.
the EU kind of architecture needs to change, especially in urgent matters like this. There should be different approaches in membership rather than to be relying consistently on the same method and the same administrative procedures that make things happen. I mean, think about it. In order for the EU to make a decision, they need
Sorry, I
at
was
least
stretching.
maybe a week or so, 4 or 5 days to meet, to discuss, to exchange, to pass resolutions, to vote. By that time, fuck, people are dying. So, and it makes sense. I mean, Macron says, look, we need new mechanisms to make decisions. Maybe within those mechanisms are included measures to incorporate new members urgently, such as Ukraine or Moldova. Now, I'm not so sure what benefit these countries are going to bring to the EU. Probably none. I mean, especially Ukraine, after all this is done, I mean, what will be left, right, in terms of its economy and
Well, its economy, from what this is another thing that we're not talking about. Very, very corrupt country, in the same league as Greece.
Oh,
like comically corrupt, the Ukraine.
That's a good way to put it.
Comically corrupt. They had a lot of their issues. They were kind of their ruling class was kind of bought and paid for by a lot of American companies the last couple of years. There's so much fuckery
There was
afoot.
reform. He promised reform and less corruption with Russia, right?
Yeah,
So
but what he
just
does,
went the other
he's
way.
like, I will no longer be corrupt with the Russians. There is no more corruption in this country. No, there's gonna be a shit ton of corruption. It's gonna go the other way.
I have to say, he's managing the fucking optics of this war
Very good.
beautifully.
Yeah.
And I would expect nothing less from a servant of the people.
Yes. So
That
what I'm
was the name
saying,
of his
George,
show, right?
we can't avoid this. There's a lot of corruption. I think people are being sacrificed. I think people are dying needlessly. I don't think this war needed to happen.
I don't disagree with you, but to go on to touch on the corruption issue, there's a lot of European countries that are corrupted, right?
Oh,
And that's what we said. That's
Ukraine-
why I mentioned our fair homeland, Greece.
Yeah, I mean the
Italy-
whole of the Balkans
corruption,
functions.
there's
this way.
You think Italy isn't corrupt?
Who the fuck said that shit? Italy's very corrupt.
No, I mean all governments are corrupt. It's just
Yeah.
the
No,
Balkans
but there's different
and
levels.
the Slavic countries
yeah.
tend to be comically corrupt.
Yeah,
I think that was
comically,
an excellent way.
It
Yeah.
seems as though it's part of the culture. To be like, you want to qualify to be a European country, you need corruption. You need governments that don't function well. Like it
That's why
feels as
Greece
though-
was allowed to come in so easily because they're like, oh, they got this down packed already.
Yeah.
Even without us, they're doing really good. I mean,
Do you qualify? Do you have the necessary?
No, but we can cook the books. Is
That's
that
what
okay?
it-
Yeah, that's
Dude,
fine.
we do on paper. It's like I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, I like these guys. These guys are all right.
Yeah.
But at least we're getting out of it now. You saw that the austerity measures, the entire country suffered. Many people were killed. Many people died in Greece because of all this garbage the last couple of years. And now finally, they're repaying the debt that they didn't cause. It's great.
There's so much there to unpack that you just said.
All truth. All truth. They've repaid
They
the
have
debt that other
officially
people have put on
repaid
Greece.
Yeah,
the
they completed the
sovereign
payments on
debt
their
that
debt.
they did not accrue
Yeah.
by taking on lots of private and personal debt
Yes.
instead to foreign nations. It's just not sovereign debt anymore. It's just companies because they fucking sold the country out and privatized most of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like here too, same thing. Trudeau with
So
the
yeah,
ethics
thumbs up.
commission.
Fucking thumbs up.
They're all corrupt as
I
fuck.
know.
Is there one government
George
right
is
now?
upset because I'm talking shit about Mitsotakis now inadvertently.
Oh yeah, no, George.
I know you want to suck his dick.
But George, is there a government that you know of on the planet that you're like, man, what a cool place? Like they're just good people.
I don't know, maybe like in Madagascar or some shit.
I feel like Burma's not corrupt.
What do
That's
you know
not
about
true.
Madagascar?
That's not
I
true.
don't know. You never hear about it.
You
in
saw the
news.
movie.
That's because
There's
nobody
some,
cares. You know why?
there's some
Because
yeah,
the
there's
color
like a
of their
talking
skin.
zebra.
Just like all the other wars happening
What
right
about
now
Liberia?
that nobody gives a fuck about.
Is Liberia corrupt?
Yeah, Liberia is very corrupt.
But their name, how could they be corrupt?
I know, they're very corrupt. No, they're
so
all
who's not
corrupt.
corrupt?
There's just
What
different
about like
levels.
Nordic countries, man? Like I
Oh,
feel like Sweden
okay.
and Finland probably aren't as corrupt.
I feel like Sweden might be, but Finland no.
They're both kind of corrupt, but in a different.
No, but Sweden has it's built into their culture, this like transparency of the
Yeah.
government, right? That's why they were allowed to do so many experimental things early on in the pandemic, like not lockdown.
But that's the thing. So they're a bit more social. They're a bit more. They have transparency,
There's
like
a
you
lot
said.
of, it's a populism. No, that's not
The
the right word.
problem there is that you have to live in Sweden.
I mean, but that's not what we're discussing, right?
I'm just saying
I
that
know, I
there's,
understand.
there's give
yeah,
and takes.
when you balance things out, you're like,
Japan.
I mean, yeah, but we live here. It's
Oh,
equally
Japan
shitty.
is actually very transparent, but again,
no
though-
super corrupt. Japan.
Japan?
Japan still has a
I'm
ruling
look-
class.
I'm looking at
Japan's
the,
not super corrupt.
On
Japan
paper,
is not,
it's not.
No, Japan's not super corrupt. It's just that Japan is upward mobility.
Well,
is difficult.
here's the thing. I'm looking at something called the Corruption Perceptions Index because
Yeah,
you can only.
thank
But we don't care about the perceptions.
No,
though.
but Japan, that's true. Japan is very straight and narrow unless you're in the mafia there. However, it's still Japan, which for us is very fun to visit. But culturally, to just go up and live there is not the easiest thing.
No, fuck.
It's
I've
like
had
Sweden.
friends who've done it.
Yeah.
No, it's not like
No, I mean, it's
Sweden.
like Sweden. For me to go to Sweden, it's like an alien thing for me.
I feel like Norway is not corrupt. I don't perception wise. I've never heard any corruption. No, there was that whole scandal with fucking the Norwegian accounts in Cosmote in Greece. Remember that in the 90s?
These are corporations.
I remember that.
No, but they were corporations on the
Oh, the
Norwegian
government
side.
was doing it?
It was government employees.
Oh,
But
that's
the least corrupt countries perceptively are
Yeah?
Denmark, New Zealand, Finland, Singapore, and Sweden.
Singapore.
Yep.
Isn't that just because everyone's rich in Singapore? So
Oh,
there's
yeah,
no
that
need
makes
to be corrupt.
Singapore, officially the Republic of Singapore, is a sovereign island city-state.
It's also
Not for
so
long.
small. How could it be?
Well, we got one thing right. We got the Nordic countries right. I mean,
we were close, yeah. I believe that pre-pandemic there was very little corruption in New Zealand. I believe that. I do. Post-pandemic,
Yeah, I
don't
believe
know
that too. I
about
think.
that.
Oh, did you see that? She got a nice fucking smack in the face, that premier in New Zealand.
Why, what happened?
Because it went to the shit she was doing to force people to get vaccinated. Went to the Supreme Court there,
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
and they told her to go fuck herself. It was completely inhuman. What are you talking about?
Also, Jorge Rosales dropped two Aki Bays Dollaroos.
Oh,
in
what'd
the
he say?
Super chat. No Batman for Russia, no gaming, expect civil unrest.
Yeah, you can't stop games.
I went to see.
That's the play though. Piss off the people.
I went to see the
make
new
them turn on it.
Spider-Man. Well, the Spider-Man movie,
No,
which was
I don't wanna hear
fantastic.
about it.
And I know I'm late, but I saw the preview of the new Batman movie, and it
trust it.
looks fucking amazing.
yeah, I'm gonna go watch it tonight.
What,
It's
Batman?
out.
Yeah,
Okay, don't spoil Spider-Man for me, George. I've been waiting.
he didn't spoil anything. He just
I
said
know.
he
I'm just
liked.
saying. Be careful.
Holy shit! I think it's probably the best Spider-Man ever.
I
Yeah,
should hope
that's what
so.
I said, dude.
Every Spider-Man's in it.
I can't wait to.
No,
I
the
heard
Tobey
that the
Maguire
Batman-
ones were pretty bad.
yeah,
Not when
thank
they
you.
came out. When the first
Look,
one
when
came
they
out.
came out, we
Not the
liked
first
it.
one. After that, man,
I
don't know,
liked
man.
fucking Garfield's run at Spider-Man. I thought they
I
were
loved
alright.
the
I
Amazing
thought they were
Spider-Man.
great, yeah.
It got emotional.
He was good.
Well, big
yeah,
Gwen
yeah.
Stacy. I'm Team Gwen, so I don't like MJ so much. So I was there. I was for it.
It was very,
I
very
with
sad.
it.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, Team Gwen
Yeah,
Stefani.
Gwen
yeah,
Stacy.
yeah.
But I heard that the new Batman is the
I'm
greatest,
just a girl. Just-
the greatest Batman that's ever been made, with the most uninteresting Bruce Wayne. That's the
Which
review I
one?
read. This one.
Yeah, I heard it's not really Bruce heavy. Like Bruce is not a good
It's
character.
Batman heavy.
Yeah, which is good. That's what I want. It's called The Batman. It's not called The Bruce.
Sounds like a weird gay porn. The Bruce.
The Bruce.
The Bruski.
Yes, a Bruce.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah, but,
Bruce. Pussy
I
Bruce.
like the Dark Batman, and I think Christopher Nolan had done a great job with
know,
his.
Can I say something unpopular? I went back and I watched the Nolan trilogy. They should hold. They're not that old. They don't hold except for The Dark Knight Rises. The other two are terrible to watch.
No, Batman Begins, objectively, even though people say they like it, is not a good
Not a
movie.
good movie. No.
However, the one with the Joker,
That's Dark Knight.
and even the other one with, what's his name? Bane?
I didn't like the.
I was born in the dark. Oh, that shit.
merely
That still works
adopted it.
because of Bane is amazing, and also
Bane is amazing.
terrorism. And it still holds true to today.
It's but as long as Batman's not on screen, the movies are phenomenal. The second Batman, the fire rises. That's the best line Batman.
not how Batman speaks.
No, I was doing Bane.
As Bane.
You were merely adopted it.
I
But I
was
love when he
born in
says,
the dark.
"What's that line?" Where he goes, "The fire rises," and Batman, you can tell he's like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about?" The fire rises. Yeah.
The only weird stuff in that movie, there was a lot of shit that didn't make sense.
Like they added Anne Hathaway as sexy Catwoman, which I like sexy Anne Hathaway,
That
but
was-
it didn't make sense.
No, it's just some of the stuff, like some of the lines that Bane had. It feels like they added them in post, like didn't make sense. Like one time Batman slipped, and he's like, "Gay." I was like, dude, that's not.
But I will say that
Doesn't seem to fit the character.
Batman Begins, bad movie, not a great movie in retrospect. Doesn't hold. The Dark Knight Rises doesn't hold when Batman's on screen, on screen.
I like them, man. I like the three.
But
Anyways, I'm looking forward
the
to this
second one, The
because
Dark Knight, amazing.
Apparently,
Heath Ledger
apparently
steals
it's
the
like
movie,
one of
though.
the
He's the
darkest-
hero of that movie. The Joker.
You say that, but he's not.
He really is.
He set fire to all that money.
Dude, he's trying to release the people from the hold of corruption, and Batman is just a weapon of the system.
I'm gonna go watch the Batman tonight. I got myself a ticket. I even got him a ticket because I
was so mad
think he
when
deserves
people got mad that they cast Pattinson.
yeah.
What's his real name?
By the way, I called it.
I said he was going to be great.
But you know why I said it was gonna be good? Because they did the same thing when they casted Heath Ledger. Like, look at this fire, and then this is gonna be terrible.
Unpopular
and then he was the
opinions.
best Joker. He was such a good Joker that he killed him.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
That's what they said.
I know, but it's just another good story after the fact. Like,
What do you mean?
I think he had his
hold on.
He
demons.
fucked
and
with
he-
his head a lot, and he started consuming a shit ton of drugs because
Yeah,
he's a
yeah,
method
yes,
actor, and he overdid it.
And he went crazy.
And he
That's
went
the
crazy
story,
and killed
right?
himself. Well, killed himself. You
That
know,
playing the
OD.
Joker killed Heath Ledger.
Yeah. It's kind of like that's what happened to
I
Mel
believe
Gibson.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
When did he play an anti-Semite?
No, he played. Remember the What Women Want? Remember that?
Wait, hold on. I didn't catch that. I was thinking something else. Oh, fuck.
That's so good. I hate you. I thought my joke was good, but that was way better.
What did he say?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Can you tell me, like, on the side?
You're too young. You won't remember the movie.
Yeah, you're gonna get the reference.
That was a fun movie, though.
You won't get the reference.
Great.
Sugar
It was a
tits.
very entertaining movie. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, I gotta run.
Fuck
I
you,
know, I
George.
made
No,
it
you
right on
don't.
time.
Stick
Cue the
around.
music.
Let's, yeah.
George, listen, I heard that you have a new episode of Just Us Dads coming out. Is that correct?
Just as that's coming out tomorrow, today at noon. Great episode. We talk about the Ukraine war with a specialist in the matter. So, guys, check it out if you're interested.
You have a guy that's dropping bombs on the Ukraine.
Yeah.
All right, nice. Okay, so when does that come out? At noon?
Noon
Noon. What channel?
on the Backstage Podcast.
The
on my
Backstage
YouTube channel.
Podcast drops a new episode at noon. If you're curious about the Ukraine, Russia, or as we like to call it, those people war, check out the Backstage Podcast. Los Slavs are up to something. Also, George Chanjizos has that hit podcast, Just As Dads. Just As Dads comes out tomorrow. New episode coming out tomorrow on that channel. Check that out. Links on the description. Click, subscribe, support. Thank you, George.
Ciao, boys.
Ciao, ciao. Patreon.com/Pantelis. It felt good. It felt good last night getting back on stage. It was in French. I was back on stage in English a couple times.
Yes.
However, Poseidon got to see me get back on stage in French for Mike's show yesterday. I was very nervous because I hadn't done a French set in a while, and I got my hours coming. But it's like riding a bike. In fact, I'm going to go out and say this. I did better than I think my last shows in French. I think I was.
Really?
Yeah, I think I was more comfortable.
I don't remember, but I think you did very good.
Yeah.
I think I would say excellent rating.
Yeah, it was just calm and cool and collected. I'm not looking for my words anymore in French.
No.
A lot of fun. There he is. He's back. Hello, Phil. Phil, the stock market is crashing.
Yes, I know.
Goodness
My money's all
gracious.
in there.
I should have just sold when I was up a few days ago. Now I gotta wait longer. I texted
I don't
Harry.
think it won't come back to where it was when you were even till after the summer. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, it depends on what market you're in. Like my uranium went up a few days ago, and I told Harry, I go, hold
took
on
a
a second.
beating last
Am I
night?
mating? No, not a
Who
beating.
are you
it's
mating
just-
with?
Am I profiting off a war?
Yes.
He's like, what do you mean? I go, are my stocks going up in uranium because of the war? He's like, not only because of the war. And I was like, holy fuck, I don't want to profit off this.
Oh, God.
You're a profiteer.
Yeah, and then he goes, no, it should go higher for other reasons in a couple of months. Just hold tight. I was like, fuck, I don't want to, I can't see the account
Now
go
you
up
maybe
because of
want
war.
to see my portfolio, how bad it's doing. I'm curious. God.
Yeah, yesterday we were in Terrebonne, Poseidon.
Yes,
what are
we
you doing
were.
in the good earth? What are you doing out
Mike's
there?
show.
Oh, in the Terrebonne.
In the Terrebonne.
They
Yeah,
have
it
a
was
club
fun.
there.
No, it's a theater. It's a,
They have a theater in Terrebonne.
they have a few theaters. Yeah.
Really? I've only been to Terrebonne twice. Unimpressed.
There's a whole, it's a whole different life. The second you leave Montreal, there's all every little city has their own theater, their own. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then tomorrow, Poseidon, we're going far away, huh?
3 hours away.
That's kind of far.
That's not that far.
Where are you going? Or you're not saying?
Some mountain. What's it called?
Montmagny.
Oh my God!
Montmagny.
I just saw my portfolio.
Yeah, not good.
Don't open
Yeah.
it. But put it away. Forget it exists. Otherwise,
Wow.
this happens.
Depression sets in.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, at least we're not getting shot at.
At least, yes.
There's always a bonus. There's always a plus.
Fucking
silver
feels
lining.
that way right now.
That you're just taking it.
Shot in the ass with dicks. That's what it
Oh
feels
no,
like.
yeah, it's whatever. Things will go back to normal hopefully. But this Russian thing, guys, I was listening to you guys. I was listening to the early moments of the morning show, and I
Showtime
realized
morning?
you guys weren't speaking about it. And then you start talking about it now when I showed up. But there's a lot of fuckery afoot, and I don't appreciate the way people are jumping on bandwagons to just.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
I am surprised.
Really?
We've just been through 2 years of a shit ton of misinformation that's coming out now.
But the misinformation,
Yeah.
the people who were misinformed in bandwagon,
Yeah.
they now have all the data they need, and they're still on the bandwagon.
That's what's surprising.
I've told you. People
This is
need
psychosis.
People need to self. No, it's not psychosis.
This is psychosis. How do you
It's like
explain
when
that?
we said the other day why George won't come to our side of things,
Yeah.
right? The way we see stuff, because to admit that he's wrong about certain issues means
Using
that
the
he
N-word
wasted
excessively.
wasted his life.
Yeah.
He was a part of the system. He would literally, to step into this new belief system, he would have to shit on the last 15 years of his life. So when people who took a shot because they thought it was the best thing, because that's what they were told, are now being told that they potentially may have harmed themselves, they're not going to believe it. No, it's conspiracy theory. I'm fine. I'm okay. I did the right thing. Those guys are bad. They're evil. We're heroes. It's always about heroes and villains.
Besides, did you see the story yesterday? Joy Behar tripped and fell when she was trying to sit down on The View. She took a tumble.
No, I didn't.
The Russians were trying to take her out, is what the rumor is. I think she's just old and stupid, and she fell off a chair.
I did not hear said until you said The View, I didn't even know who you were talking about. It
That's
clicked.
good. I like that.
The thing is about that, I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or people actually think that.
No, she did. She fell.
Oh, okay. No, but what I mean is like, is it really the narrative that
Look
the
at this
Russians
shit
are
right here. Russia is shelling the largest nuclear. That's what I was trying to figure out. Are they shelling it, or was there fighting happening around it?
Yeah, they weren't shelling it. I saw the
Because let me
same
tell
thing
you,
yesterday.
that CCTV footage, if they were shelling it, you'd know they were
Yeah,
shelling it.
it's so-
And look who fucking shared this. Mr. Voice of Reason. Mr.
Phil
Libertarian.
DeFranco. No, Phil DeFranco's been full of shit for 2 years.
fucking 2 years only. That's very polite of you.
That's the time that I had seen him start being full
yeah.
of shit. It's so much, but you know why? Because it gets clicks, and you jump into the group mentality. You're like, I support my group, so I'm going to say this.
We are doing what we're doing for money, for views, for clout,
Yeah.
and we're inadvertently damaging society.
Yes. It's fucking crazy. I refuse. I will not be bought and paid
I'm
for.
convinced that's why my podcast doesn't grow, because I flip-flop between concepts and I ask too many questions, whereas other people would just pander and be like, okay, this is my niche, that's what I'm doing.
I don't think it's that. I think
I
it
don't know,
just
you think
takes
it's
time
just
to
a shitty podcast?
I think it takes time
Thanks
to
for your honesty.
develop a good podcast. It takes charisma. You'll get there. Maybe add a topless broad.
Wouldn't hurt the name
You know
of the
what?
show.
I got it. Fill my holes. You and a lady, a hot lady. She has to be hot, and you guys debate stuff.
Like superficially debate stuff.
No,
right?
no, anything. She has to be smart with a hot lady. That's what I think. So then you'll start getting a lot of eyes on you, and then people will come for the broad, but will stay for the
hole.
bald. You feel me?
I can't do it. Too much pandering.
That's what I did.
When did you?
I brought fucking Poseidon on board.
So you brought on the tits?
I got all the ladies. And then I pushed him aside, and the ladies stayed. They forgot that sexy man beast is now behind the camera.
Man beast.
His photo, by the way, his topless photo, did wonders online.
Yes.
Did you see my comment
People
on
loved
Twitter?
the one with he's supporting the Russians.
Yeah, did you see what I wrote?
No.
I wrote in Russian.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, the first
Pepperoni
day.
nipples.
Pepperoni nipples. I saw that.
Soski
Yeah.
pepperoni.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, but he
Soski
wrote it in
pepperoni.
Russian.
I wrote it in
that's
Russian.
funny.
I was really hoping someone would translate it.
I did.
No, I mean like in post it'd be like, this is great.
Oh, that yeah.
Because Anna looked at it and she goes, pepperoni nipples is back. Remember when we did that fucking
Yeah,
clip
yeah.
on, and she's like, why does he have pepperoni nipples?
I really do have pepperoni dips.
Yeah.
Like little soprasatas.
Yeah.
His girlfriend, as soon as she saw the picture, sent him a message. Says, "I want you to know I love pizza."
Actually, Anna, the question Anna asked me was, where are his pants? I'm like, he's wearing pants. She's like, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
I was wearing pants though.
Look,
It
you're
really
saying
looks like
that,
you
but
were.
the photo.
Or was I?
Yeah, the photo
No,
begs the
the
difference.
photo is only furthers the fact that you already know, which is you need to start, watching your weight again because your muffin top makes you look like you're pantsless.
No, he knows. He knows.
He knows.
But
I
he's not
know.
actually trying. This is yesterday. You're gonna laugh at this. So yesterday's complaints like, bro, I want to look back the way he used to. I got too fat. And he's telling me this in the green room, okay? So I'm motivating him because I want him. I'm like, fuck yeah, bro, you gotta lose some weight. You're gonna get back to what you were. It's gonna be perfect. Continue. Not even 4 minutes later, I'm
8
backstage.
seconds later.
I'm backstage talking with Preach. I hear ding dong, the microwave, whatever. Bro, this guy's pulling out a sub like he made a sandwich.
It was a small
He's
sandwich.
eating a brownie. I'm like, bro,
Before
didn't
the
we
sandwich?
just have this conversation? He's like, well, oh yeah.
But I'm hungry.
He's like, I'm gonna throw it. He's like, fuck that. And he's still eating it. Then he's going grabbing a sandwich on the microwave. He's eating brownie all together. He ate the brownie first and then the sandwich. He's even doing shit backwards. He's like,
Only in half.
I just need to consume. It's crazy. It's crazy. He's my Ukraine Russia. It's just misinformation. I'm on a diet, but I see you eating a brownie. He's just gaslighting me. I'm like, I see you eating a brownie. You don't know what you see, sir.
Yesterday I was telling Anna, I was like, fucking during the pandemic I put on weight, like I have, which I've never been big, so whatever. But I don't like that I've only put on weight here and here. So like here I don't care. I have a beard.
Now you're
really
doing the
show.
Macarena.
Yeah, but all of my shirts have become like my button shirts have become tight only on my gut. I'm like, oh
That's
no.
cute.
So I gotta do something. She goes, okay. I mean,
Do some sit-ups.
she goes, just exercise a little bit and don't eat shit,
Yeah.
which I don't eat that bad anymore.
You do.
Not
You
really.
eat out every day.
Not every day.
Every day I'm here, I see you eat now.
It's because I only eat out on the days after the morning show. That's why. I've been bringing lunch for like a month.
Oh, what kind of lunch?
Different stuff, whatever we eat for dinner.
A lot of bread?
No, not really. Starches for sure.
There
I
you
definitely
go.
have,
Starch
but not a
will
lot of
fuck
bread.
your stomach up, bro.
I mean, yeah, but like quinoa is starch, isn't it?
What?
Quinoa? Starch?
I don't know what quinoa is.
Quinoa.
I don't know what that is. It sounds very hippie.
You never had quinoa?
I don't think so.
I
I hope
heard
not.
quinoa.
What about like bulgur?
I don't even like
Pliguri.
the whole country.
Not the Bulgars, the Bulgurs. You've never had pliguri?
No.
A Greek person who's never had... Interesting. Rice?
Well, I
Rice
don't have it
crappy,
because
yeah.
it's not good for you, but I've had rice in my life, of course. Rice
You know what
delicious.
it is.
Of course, I know what rice is. It's the meal of the Asians.
Quinoa and bulgur are basically rice without all the starch.
So it's
They're
better
grains.
than regular
They're grains,
rice.
but quinoa is a superfood. Like it has all kinds of stuff.
Who
The Andes. Quinoa from the Andes.
who
Bulgur,
qualified it as a superfood?
the Latinos.
They don't know.
It has a bunch of vitamins. I don't know what it has, bro. I'm not a fucking nutritionist. I just know it's good for you.
I feel like it's made up. I think you lied. I don't think quinoa even exists.
All right. I mean, I don't even know. You're right. It's Russian misinformation. You caught me.
Misinformation. You think we're gonna fall for this, Vladimir? I'm
Volodymyr.
not playing your fucking games, Vlad.
Vlad and Vlad are fighting.
Yeah. So now, who
What
was
we
it?
talking about?
That this guy came. Some Republican senator came out and said, "Oh, they need to within his party. They need to assassinate Putin." It's like, are you fucking dumb? You realize that the Russians have access to the internet? They're gonna remember all this. Simon, you're right.
I'm
They're
reading
gonna
some-
remember all of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how crazy? You know how we're fucking ourselves over? Even Trudeau, they have access to the internet. They know what we're doing. We're like, yeah, we're gonna give weapons to the Ukraine, and we're motivating people in Russia to try to assassinate Vladimir Putin.
I was talking about it before.
They could see this. They're like, guys, I could see this. I'm on YouTube. I know what you're doing. They're gonna come after us.
Yeah.
You think that would sit well with you
I
if
already
you were a
made that
leader of a
statement.
country?
I made a statement earlier. I said it.
and another leader's like, yeah, you guys got to Phil Pantelis, you guys got to kill them.
Why do you think they're cutting off why Western companies are cutting off services to the Russian people? The stuff that they got us, all of us, globally addicted to, our phones, gaming, computer access, internet stuff. People are going to get bored, get upset, get rowdy, and all of a sudden you got a fucking revolution on your hands.
I wish we had a revolution.
Didn't World War I start with because of an assassination or some shit?
Yes, the Duke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by the Serbian secret society called the Black Hand. And then that set off a chain of events because all these different goofy countries had treaties. Where if one goes
Like a
to
stupid
war,
country like
another has to go to
Austria-Hungary.
war. Yeah, another has to go to war.
Yeah.
But then if that one
They
has
weren't
to
really
go to war,
treaties. They were just
had
like my
another-
cousin's country is going to
No,
war
but they
because it
had
was all
treat-
royalty.
No, they were
right?
pushed in. That's why
true, yeah.
it set off the chain of events because they were pushed in with like, fuck. Because now if I get in, the second I declare war on him, it activates that treaty, and then he has to declare war on me, and then because it's a country declaring war on me, then he has to declare war on it, and that's what happened. And that was the World War, the first one.
It was supposed to be mutually assured destruction. It was not.
Nah,
It
they
was
didn't have
mutually assured shittiness.
But a lot of people died. The
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
War.
yeah,
Then the Second World War, what happened was because people were so scared of the First
I
World
wish they
War.
had called the Second War the Greater War.
The Greater.
Because it was the Great War and then the Greater War.
And then we have the greatest. So the Second World War, what happened, Poseidon, is because of the First World War, people were worried about that same thing of getting forced into conflict. So they were appeasing. They were pretending it wasn't happening. So when Hitler was taking over countries, they were just like, fuck. Like, like, oh, yeah, what? Hitler? No, Poland. That's always been a suburb of Germany.
Yeah, that's Germany.
That's how we...
That's Nova Germania.
That's what I learned in school. It's just a suburb. It's a German suburb.
Yeah.
So they were trying their best to appease, and then he overdid it, and they had to step in.
Yeah.
And then same thing. The Americans tried to stay out, very isolationist as usual. They wanted to stay out of it, and then the government wanted to go in to help the Europeans, but they had no way of doing it because most of the American population
We're
didn't
like,
want to
it's
get
not our war,
involved.
yeah.
Some of them were even siding with the Nazis. So
God damn.
yeah, same thing in Canada and in Britain. There's a
Britain,
lot
I
of
knew.
Nazi
I didn't know about
sympathizers.
the States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
They
States
had
had
actual
massive,
groups.
yeah.
So
But
it
in
ha-
general, most people just didn't want to interfere in a European war.
Yeah. So then
After what
Japan
happened in
joined
the
the
Great War.
Axis. Okay. So because the axis of evil was really Japan, Germany, and your
Italy.
friends, the Italians. So
And also the Yugoslavia? No?
no,
No.
no.
Were there not
Yugoslavia
some-
didn't
Those
exist.
three major
Albania.
countries, that was the Axis.
No, they weren't in the
They
Axis.
had support in the Balkans from a government.
No, they had the Axis was those three countries, and then there was little shit countries that wanted to join in, but that was the Axis powers.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
just
bro.
like the
That's
Allies, right? We don't. Ethiopia technically fought on our side, but we don't count them as the Allies.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah,
that's,
that's
like,
true,
Yeah, you know what I mean. They're secondary characters.
yeah, that's like somebody with no arms saying, "Yo,
so-
I'm gonna come help you."
So then
make
here's
something."
what happened.
What if he has a good headbutt?
So the Americans caught wind of a Japanese plot. The Japanese, which were very fucking hardcore in this, they were listening to the emperor.
Yeah.
They were gonna attack the Americans, which was a very bad move. Okay. Now the Americans could have stopped these planes. They had them on radar. They knew what was gonna happen, so they had a choice. They go, we could just shoot these fuckers down. They won't hit us. But what they did instead is they go, look, we gotta take this hit. We're gonna let them come in and do their kamikaze shit, drop their bombs on Pearl Harbor, because that will then give them the opening to be able to tell the American people, look, they came here, they attacked us, we got to fight back, we're joining the war. You get it?
Yeah.
So they allowed that to happen, almost like a false flag, except they just knew it was going to happen because they had the intelligence. The Japanese used no code.
I mean, the fact that they stopped it, that they didn't stop it, almost makes it a false flag. It's weird.
Kinda,
It's
yeah. So
it's like a loose definition at that point.
The Japanese came in, they dropped those bombs. They basically dropped themselves into those ships on Pearl Harbor. They caused devastation, damage. The
divine
Americans...
wind.
Yeah, the Americans were very upset. They said, you stupid sons of bitches. Those were a lot of bombs. Don't worry. We got 2 of them. And then they retaliated, joined the war, and it changed the tide of everything.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what
I
happened.
wonder if they hadn't dropped the atomic bombs, how long the war would have played out for. Because they were already doing pretty well, the Allies, at that point in the war.
No, they weren't.
When
No,
they
they
dropped fucking the bombs on
Against
Nagasaki
Japan?
and
Yeah,
Hiroshima.
no, they weren't. The
No, against
Jap-
Japan, they were getting rattled.
Yeah,
bro.
the Japanese were out there fucking slaughtering. The Japanese were taking over islands. The Japanese were on a. If they didn't
Yeah,
enter to pull the Japanese
I don't
back,
remember now.
yeah, they were
Confused. I gotta
getting.
look into it. I don't
Yeah, because the Russians couldn't go either side. The Russians were having trouble because the Germans now were planning on going up into Russia. They had, dude, it was. That's why they needed the Americans. They go,
When
okay,
did
we have
they
to enter.
happen in relation to the dropping of the bombs? After or before?
I think before. When they landed on Normandy, you saying?
Yeah.
I think before. But I don't remember the dates.
So Normandy happened. It was pretty much successful.
No, Normandy, a shit ton of people died just so
Oh,
they could
yeah,
take
bro.
the
I was
beach.
watching Saving Private
but they
Ryan,
took
bro.
the beach.
Just so they could take the beach, they did the Russian standard thing, which was let's just throw bodies at it.
Bro,
that's what the Russians did in World War II. The Russians had
The
number
highest
wise
casualties.
the highest casualty rates. Yeah, you know who had the highest casualty rates in reference to their population? No,
Civilian, you mean, or both?
both.
Greece.
Yeah, Greece.
50% of its
Really?
population.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
Fuck, 50%. We lost 50% of our
Yeah,
population.
and we didn't even have to join the war. We chose to join it because we're fucking good people.
Yeah. Well,
They said we
had,
just want to pass through. They said we just want to pass through.
I mean, there was also the
They also did say we're going to pass through, and also
there
you
was
have to give
also
us
a
your
false
Jews.
flag 2 weeks before where there was the bombing of the Ellie. So Greece
Because
was
we
about to
wanted
join.
but we wanted to not be part of the Axis.
No,
we
obviously.
wanted to join that, but we could have been left pretty much alone
But
if we had let the Germans.
The king of Greece wanted to be part of the Axis.
I know, but not the Greeks.
Fucking
bro.
Glucksberg.
Fuck that guy. Yeah, because all families. So so then we said, you know what? Nah, we don't like this deal.
So there are two major events, I would say, that led to the victory of the Allies: the dropping the 2 bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki,
This can be good.
Yeah.
and Greece not allowing Germany to pass because we delayed them.
I mean, those aren't the two major
Those
ones.
aren't the two major
Well,
ones.
they're
To
not the
take
two
away
major
from
ones,
what
but-
happened in Operation Barbarossa
the
is
third one, sorry, Pearl Harbor.
No, Operation Mercury was big too in Crete. That fucked over because then they stopped.
Operation
using,
Mercury was
They
Crete
stopped using-
and Greece. No,
No,
When the
Operation
Axis-
Mercury was the landing on Crete.
and Barbarossa was
That's
Russia.
Barbarossa was Russia. The
What was the Balkans
Operation
and Greece?
Operation Mercury was when they tried to take over Crete the first time, right?
With
When they,
paratroopers. It was the first
It-
time they used the paratrooper
no,
assault.
it was the last time they used paratrooper assaults because they got massacred.
It was also the first in the Second World War. The first time a full-scale invasion was done via paratroopers, and they're like, we're never doing this again.
Because they were using it in the north.
Well, they had no
But they
choice, I
weren't
think,
large
right?
scale. They were just dropping in a bit of infantry. This was like the entire thing happened.
So they stopped using paratroopers because of that.
The highest Nazi order that you could have won in the Second World War was a black island of Crete pin that's meant you were a survivor of Operation Mercury.
They were getting killed by old
They were
Greek
getting
ladies.
killed by pitchforks. They were coming down and they were just
Yeah,
getting
I've heard
fucking-
crazy
And then
stories.
guns, yeah.
There's an amazing documentary about it.
Old Cretan
11th
women,
hour.
old ladies, or whatever pistols they had, were trying to shoot them. And then when they would be landing, they'd be just staring
They'd
at the Greek
impale them.
ladies. They would impale them, cut their heads off, whatever they could, take their rifles, whatever they found,
And then
whatever
shoot
gun
down
they
their
had,
friends.
and then shoot down their friends. They were sitting ducks, just floating German ducks everywhere.
Yeah.
And then when they
mean ducking?
when they finally took an airbase and they landed, they go, "Fuck, this island's gonna be easy to take over." Every night they were getting terrorized.
Yeah.
A bunch of Cretans from the mountains were coming down, killing them, and still they were like, "What the fuck's wrong with these people?"
Yeah, no.
Greece is Texas.
Yeah, but Greece did the same thing all around. It was a guerrilla warfare.
I mean, after
What-
when-
was
with,
that
the
gen-
Axis,
what-
with the Nazis, yes. With the Italians, it was a structured war still at the
But
beginning.
bro, the Italians got so
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
rammed in the ass. man.
Yeah, the Italians got rattled.
I was reading
And the Albanians.
Wi-
in
yeah, which
October.
general,
I was reading old headlines
Bro,
from
the funniest thing, you know
from
what happened?
newspapers from the Greek resistance.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like I'm watching it because you can read it in real time, right? Like day by day. So it was like the British Herald or something. They're like, the Greeks fight on the northern borders, and I'm imagining that old timey voice, and it's like heavy casualties. This guy dies, like some big general. And all of a sudden, the Greeks push into in Albania. And the next, Greek troops have started occupying Albania. I'm
Yeah,
like, what's happening?
So here's what
What's
happened.
going on?
They came and
It's
they,
really funny.
unprovoked, they attacked the Albanians, the Italians with the Albanians.
Well, the
to take
Albanians
over-
was
Albania
more
was an Axis
opportunist.
power.
Yeah,
Not a
but it
power,
doesn't count,
but yeah.
To take over Greece, right?
It doesn't count.
They got their asses kicked so hard that they started losing land, bro. You know how crazy
Land
that
is
is?
still
We're like,
contested
fuck
to this
you.
day.
Yeah.
It's still
Like-
contested.
Yeah, like, really, you
Oh, you're, gonna
motherfucker?
do this to- you're gonna do me like that? Huh?
You
Okay.
take over my land.
Very opportunistic.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Man.
Oh, shit.
Second
crazy.
World War. I tweeted it the other day. I miss simpler times when the bad guys wore uniforms. It was easy.
The bad guys do wear uniforms now.
Nah, they
They're just
don't.
not always Hugo Boss. Some of them are
get it.
George or whatever brand Bill Gates wears.
George from
He wears the Walmart brand.
the Walmart brand.
I'm a simple guy.
Fruit of the
I
Loom.
wear regular Walmart clothes. Yes, I may rape children on an island with my buddies, but I also wear regular Walmart
I
clothes
do it
while I
wearing
do
my
it.
Lee jeans from Target.
Yeah, Bill Gates can try to assassinate me at one point or another. I'm trying
Oh,
to
you're
make
talking about
sure.
Gates, you said?
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure the
Okay.
internet does not forget his association with the Epsteins.
How
Because they're
could
trying to like whitewash history. Do not forget these people.
whitewash?
During this Ukraine stuff, do not forget about Ghislaine Maxwell. Do not forget about Jeffrey
Ghislaine?
Epstein, the Billy of the Gates, the Bernie of the Sanders, all those people that were part of that crew.
Was the Bernie
Don't
on the
forget.
island?
The Bernie was
Yeah.
on the plane, yeah. He was on the Lolita Express, yeah.
Really? I
Don't forget
not
about
know.
these scumbags. Yeah.
The excuse was they couldn't afford flights, bro.
And don't forget that Trump, if he really did have a good fucking relation, let's say he does, right? Let's say he has.
Yeah.
How come he's not fucking calling directly? How come he's not calling Putin directly? Now listen, stupid. Don't forget, if you wanted to stop this and he knows him that well, he could have done that shit too. Don't forget these people. These politicians are cocksuckers. All opportunists.
It's weird that there's a war in the Ukraine. COVID is like receding for the season. And the only thing that you see trending on like the number one trending was Trump coup attempt. I'm like, why is this being spoken about again?
Oh, Trump did say something funny though.
Oh, did he? What'd he
I
say?
saw it this morning. Because somebody was asking about what's going on. He goes, look, the truth is this fucking, he goes, I don't mind the Zelensky guys. He goes, actually, he was elected to not, to be transparent, no corruption, whatever. He was talking about him, but he goes, but people are giving Russia too much credit. He goes, Putin, yeah, he's smart. He goes, okay, he is. But that's not why there's a war. It's not because the Russian leader's smart. It's because our leaders are fucking dumb.
even
And
a
I was
broken
like,
clock.
he's not wrong, bro. Trump's not wrong there. They're fucking idiots. He goes, it's like, goddamn, if you know him so well and you could stop, why don't you? But let's say he has that power. He's not using it.
Well, because he would look to see how that could play into.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why you
career.
can't trust these cocksuckers.
This is what they do, bro. We know this. This is who they are. They know they could and they want to. Maybe he has good intentions, but at the same time,
I've been looking for something since we were talking about it. I couldn't remember the name of the operation.
Olga said something interesting, though. I didn't know. Read that, Poseidon.
What'd she say?
did you see Melinda Gates said she asked for a divorce because of his involvement with Epstein? Yeah.
She knew something.
Yeah, of course she knew.
She knew something.
She fucking knew.
One day he came back from one of those trips, and she's like,
Smelling like an Ardennes.
we haven't done it in a while. Do you want something kinky? Yeah. He's like, yeah, can you dress yourself up like a kindergartner? It's like, what? Like a kindergarten teacher?
Like a teacher?
No, just the student. Yeah.
She comes. No, he goes dressed up like a schoolgirl. She comes dressed up like a high schooler. It's like, ew, what is
Ew.
this old lady shit?
Yeah.
No. Here, take this passy. Put on this diaper.
Yeah. She's like, I'm
okay, Bill.
gonna file for divorce. Understandable.
Uh-huh.
Can you keep this
Rightly
between
so.
us?
Jesus.
But she may
Christ.
just be fucking virtue signaling now. Melinda Gates.
it's not
She
virtue.
fucking knew.
How she wasn't there? She won't know. How could you know? Did you know?
I wasn't there.
It's her to her
I
neither.
mean, in their house, living with him for how many years?
But how? I don't understand. So if you don't tell your wife, would she know everything we talk about or what we do here? It's impossible unless you let her know. She's not psychic.
I don't
It's
buy
not a movie.
You think she didn't go with him ever?
But it's not a movie. She can't see the other scene.
You think she never went?
No, there was no record. There's no document of Little Express of her. And why would he bring her? And then she get you. If you're doing shit like that, you try to keep it as secret as
I
possible.
just assume that when you're that rich, you're all weird, including
They're
her.
all weird, but that doesn't mean they're all child molesters.
That's true. I mean, that's fair.
Well, no. Look at Jeff Bezos. He just wants to bang hot broads now and fucking
older
And wear
broads,
cowboy hats.
and turn into a Chad.
Yeah.
A Chad?
Yeah, that's what they
Is
call.
that what he wants? I know it. Yeah.
No, Bezos is another story. Bezos is, I think, you know what's fucked up is Bezos probably is the biggest openly prick out of all of them. Like, he's a bitch. But at least he's not banging kids. That's true. He's just
Yeah.
wasting his money on extravagance.
I would say he's the most normal one.
And he's not, he's abnormal, but he is the most normal out of them.
I mean,
Yeah.
Because he's just a dude. He's like, I couldn't get laid before. I wasn't attractive, whatever. Now I'm going to use my money to just have fun. Yachts, bitches, all that.
Yeah. Yachts.
Yachts. So that's what he's doing, Bezos.
But I prefer that, man.
I prefer that.
I mean, I remember when Amazon was nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
how many employees does he have?
I would rather have a boss that yells at me. And,
many employees does he
and
have?
Slightly underpays me than finding out that I don't know, hundreds of thousands.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon.
God only knows. I'm sure you can find, but
You think he could he has the money to give every single one of his employees without feeling it 10 G's as a bonus?
probably,
100%.
Yeah.
probably.
That would be a nice thing for
But
him
he's
to
not
do.
even running
Bro,
operations anymore. He's a
That was
stockholder now.
way below estimation. 1.3 million employees.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
10 G's each.
10 G's each.
Yeah.
It's 110 million.
He can do that.
130 million.
Yeah,
Each? Is that right? No, my math is wrong.
he can do that.
10,000 times
1.3 million.
Oh no, that's $13 billion. Well,
No, you multiplied it.
yeah.
One of the apparently
How else
it
would you
was
do it?
one of the
I know.
many things that contributed
But
to
he can still
divorce.
give that out.
The Epstein thing was one of the many reasons why it led to divorce. Imagine what else this guy was up to. But he seems like a fucking weirdo.
He
But
seems
that's
like a
what
weirdo, yeah, who doesn't like to have sex but wants her to get fucked and like smokes in a corner.
No, I didn't- what?
Bill Gates, I see it.
What?
He feels voyeuristic. He created all this surveillance technology through his company.
Yeah, I don't know about the voice. He just seems like he's into creepy shit that is illegal.
He also feels voyeuristic. There's something about him, like I know he just likes to watch.
Seems like the type to
if that was it, that wouldn't be a problem.
seems like the type to ghost, like with a condom, like to remove it secretly.
No, he doesn't. No.
No, he's worth too much
no.
money. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he
I was
wouldn't do
trying
that.
to
Remember
do
that
a
time
Windows
Drake
joke.
put chili powder in the condom?
Huh?
Remember the time Drake put hot sauce in a condom?
Good. You
Legendary.
Have to. You have to
It's
protect
fucking
yourself.
legendary,
Bro. You
yeah.
have to protect yourself.
He invented a new contraceptive, man.
Yeah, the spicy Drake.
The prophylactic 6.
Plan C, bro.
The spicy Drake,
Plan
bro.
D.
Plan D, yeah, there you
That's
go.
the plan Drake.
Plan Drake.
I have to say that.
You have to take it. Next time you take it one level further. You walk in the room, you start fucking putting hot sauce all over her.
What are you doing so you don't get pregnant?
Yeah.
What? It burns. Did he snort?
Yeah, he snorted. What if Jeff Bezos decided Quebec Solidaire is the way in Quebec? I'm gonna give $1 million to each Quebecer to vote GS. Christine, you're living
You know
in a
that's illegal.
fantasy.
You know that's illegal,
It's 100%
right?
illegal,
Yeah.
but you're living in a fantasy reality. This is what I say: move to Sweden
Why?
and leave the real adult countries alone with your communist propaganda. That's what I'm telling you to do, Christine.
I don't understand her what if.
Some communist
It's
bullshit.
super illegal. You can't do that.
No, actually, you can't.
They just fucking came at Zuckerberg for doing exactly that.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Because he gave how many millions of dollars during the Biden campaign?
Bro,
But here's the thing. I don't want you to do it, but at the same time, the way they structure it, someone's gonna have to give them money, right? I don't like that super PACs, all that shit exists.
Yeah.
But they have to have money for their campaign. And then it's so fucking stupid. And then if they don't, we're gonna do what we do in Canada, where there's so much public money going in. We spend so much money on these cocksuckers. You know, the CBC, right, which is garbage. It's all taxpayer fund. We're paying for that shit. We're paying for them to misinform us.
I think if the CBC would just stop doing news coverage, I'd be happy. Do everything else. I don't mind.
Like arts.
Be in charge of the Council of the Arts and fund things and make fucking movies, because there's still some great content in terms of documentaries that get made by, not by the CBC, but through the CBC. But like the fact that they have a news wing.
It's not real news.
Think about it for a second. You have a state-funded outlet giving you news. Why would they ever give you news that is not exactly in line with what the people in charge want you to think?
Of course.
Like the simple fact that you can identify that as a breach in the democratic process,
But nobody cares.
then you're stupid. You're
But
stupid.
people in general are dumb. Nobody cares. They
Stupidity
they like
is what's gonna do us in.
Yeah.
I almost quoted him from earlier. Stupidity is the real virus, bro.
Yeah, I heard that too. We knew that.
We knew that.
That and AIDS.
The dumbdemic. Then AIDS?
Yeah, did you hear, did you see anything about the Pfizer docs that came out? People are talking about it now.
I've read a few doctors now who have come out and said some stuff.
There's a new set of papers that come out and it was almost 99% redacted. And then the person online was like, are you guys fucking joking? Are you guys fucking kidding me with this shit? So wait, the law says you have to come out with these, but you're allowed to come out with them, but not really come out with them. Like what?
I read from, I don't remember who it was now. One guy did like a short essay on how there's a few, I forget exactly what the points he made were right now. I don't want to like fuck it up too bad. You guys can look into it yourselves, but effectively there was a breach in the trial, not like something super sketchy.
What trial?
The trials, the Pfizer
Oh, the
trials.
trial data. Okay, yeah, the
So
trial.
as they were accumulating trial data, there was something that had happened that normally, even though it's not a big red flag or super dangerous, when that happens, you have to stop, you have to start over.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So he goes, just that, forget everything else. Just that,
Is
all
enough.
the trial data is no good. They could have
happened?
never gotten FDA approval.
Well, there's a lot of stuff
I
that
don't
they had.
remember what it was now. That's the problem.
Even we I forgot we had talked about it when we had some
No,
info a few
I'm
days
just
ago.
specifically referring to
Was
something
it
that
Wednesday when we
non-malicious,
talked
you know?
about how? So now we have statistics is 0. Whatever percent of people that get it, it's fatal for them. But in the people that they were testing, the side effects, the hard ones, were 3%.
3% death rate.
More than
They
300%
didn't
more
even
likely.
put 3%, they put larger than 2%.
Yeah, but still.
That's still true.
That's still true.
Yeah, well-
it's over 3%, but so it is larger than 2%. But that also makes it fucking hilarious. So like the
My
thing that's
biggest
supposed to
issue
save
has
you
always been with
is more
efficacy.
dangerous.
The efficacy is what pisses me off, because unless you give it to 10,000 people in a trial, put them in a room and threw COVID at them, you don't really know how effective it is. Because
Sorry,
you don't know. Unless you actually gave everyone COVID after you vaccinated them, you don't know how effective it is. The numbers are made up.
Oh, because he means, let's say right now, like we're gonna give these two people this experimental vaccine,
And
right?
these two are the placebo.
To see if they're gonna, but none of those people ever get COVID.
Because they never came into contact with COVID.
Yeah, so they like
'Cause
look
we
at
were
how
in lockdowns.
Yeah, you're like fuck.
So-
Look at how good it works, bro. Phil has no symptoms. Yeah, because he never got anything. And he's like, well, maybe he didn't get it because you're vaccinated. It avoids you. And people believe this, by the way, in the beginning. Something that's completely unscientific
questioning
and
that from-
absurd.
I don't get it.
And people are like, yeah, if you have it, you're less likely to catch it. In the beginning, we were saying
that's
that
what a vaccine
publicly.
should be, no?
We were saying that, no, you're supposed to catch, supposed to fight. You can't
Right,
stop
right.
a person from catching
It's not
it.
a force field.
Yeah,
Right.
Even a
but we were
politician-
saying this, bro. In the news, people were saying it. People were repeating it online. Something completely absurd, like it's like it's a cross, like the mask is now. It's a religious symbol, bro. It's fucking crazy. And people were repeating it online. You're less likely, and then you remember how the narrative changed. Do it fair because you're less likely. You'll save yourself. Then after, we're like, well, that
Do
doesn't.
it so you don't spread it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Well, do it so you don't spread it to other people. Well, how would that work?
Then
You
that
can-
changed too. Do it so
can-
you don't die.
Yeah, no, do it so that you don't give it to an old lady. Well, I can still give it to an old lady and she'll die if she doesn't take it. Oh, do it so that you're not hospitalized. So it just kept changing. And no one said, wait, hold on a second, guys. The fact that you keep moving the goalpost means you're aware a lot of this is bullshit we're telling people. Everybody just kept changing the
Someone who's been
sentence,
sharing-
but saying it religiously.
No.
Someone who's been in that camp since the beginning of the pandemic
Yeah.
that I follow on Facebook, and sometimes he says some pretty wacky stuff also. Yesterday, He was banned. He was put in Facebook jail, so he was banned for like 2 months. I'm like, what happened to that guy? You know, I haven't heard him say anything crazy in a while. Most of the stuff he was saying turned out to be true. I mean, that's not.
Oh,
the
he was
issue.
a conspiracy guy.
He was a conspiracy guy. It just so happened that
I apologize to many of you conspiracy guys. Some of you were spot on for a
no,
while.
he was spot on for a lot of stuff. But yesterday, he's like, Ukraine, blue and yellow equals the number 1717. The
What?
Masonic order. I'm like, what?
How does it
The
blue?
Rams won the Super Bowl, blue and yellow.
Oh, that is
This
true.
is
The
the
Rams
year Illuminati revealed. I was like,
Why would the Illuminati reveal
so this
themselves?
is my response
Was-
in,
he
in
was
my head,
joking,
right?
right?
What?
He was joking, right?
No, he was dead serious. So in my head, I was like, what am I like? Wait, he's been right about a lot of stuff. Let me just do a quick Google search. I
Was it the number?
No, it's nonsense.
Yeah,
it's fucking nonsense. But it's just like, that's why all these guys who were saying so much, people were like, it's so easy to throw them in a crazy camp.
Yeah.
Because they say crazy shit.
Yeah, that's what happens.
But a broken clock can be right
Yeah.
occasionally.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really 2 times a day because
Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more with these guys. But that's what I noticed
going
too.
backwards and shit, you know?
Yeah, there's people that we made fun of, and then they were wrong on a lot of stuff. But a lot of the vaccine shit was right. But also, it was so obvious in front of us the changing of do this because it stops the spread. And then when it was wrong, people just kept repeating it, which is what's fucking crazy to me. You want to kill grandma? It changes nothing.
I go back to what I said before. It's about self-validation so
Yeah.
that you know that you're the hero.
Yeah.
We all think we're the hero of the story. We're not. We're just...
The
I'm
only
tired
way
of
your
saying the
grandmother
pawn
is
thing.
saved does not do with you getting the vaccine or
My
not.
grandfather,
if you're
who
sick,
was
don't go around whether you
double
have it or not.
My grandfather was double vaccinated. He caught it,
Yeah.
gave it to all of us. He nearly died, but he's okay
Yeah,
now.
the only way you could save your grandmama is if it works and she gets vaccinated. That's the
Yes,
only way.
absolutely.
That's the only fucking way, you dummies. And the other thing is for the hospitals, the overrun and stuff. You know what the best case scenario for the hospitals
Fix the
is?
hospital system.
Fix the fucking system that can't handle 8 people in the emergency. Fix that.
It's crazy. We build these huge fucking hospitals, bro.
And full of bureaucracy.
Full of bureaucracy, and it can only handle
All the
8
big
people,
hospitals
bro.
on the island are not the ones that have been struggling under the weight of the pandemic. Like,
Oh,
let's be
they've been
serious.
struggling.
What?
The big hospitals are not the ones that are struggling
But they
under the
have.
weight of the
It's
pandemic.
smaller ones.
It's the smaller ones. Like
Yeah.
the
The
Jewish,
big hospitals
the
are
Jewish,
annoying.
every time it was like hospitals on the brink, hospital. Rosenthal, the whatever it is, the chair, he would come out. He goes, right now it's not so bad at the Jewish. We're doing pretty well. We have our COVID ward. He was super like, yeah, everything's fine here.
Well, fine. He doesn't like that it's happening because the
No,
problem
but he's
is
like, we've got it under control.
they've got the problem was, dude. They're not staffed the way they should be in relation to our population. Okay, Poseidon?
Yes.
They're not staffed the way they should be in relation to our population. That's one of the issues. The other issue is because in the beginning, especially, we didn't know transmission rates. Everything was a panic. So they were closing off entire wings. There were certain people, look, if you work in the COVID ward, that's where you can work. You can't work some. There's a lot of fuckery. So we were tight. We were scared. So there's a lot of that. And then you have the smaller hospitals. You go to the West Island where fucking 2 people in the emergency is too much. And you don't have enough nurses, doctors. So it compounds, you know? And then people panic and they go, just listen to the government. Just get vaccinated. Just get vaccinated. Like, that's going to make it better. And then we had the highest vaccination rate out of the fucking modern countries in the world. And it changed nothing because the problem wasn't whether you're vaccinated or not. Because then the statistics changed, right? Then more people were going to the hospital that were vaccinated. But not because the vaccine was causing anything, but because, I don't know, maybe they felt safer. So they were going out getting, you could still catch it. So if your immune system is having trouble handling it, hopefully the vaccine helps, but as we saw, there's a lot of people it changes nothing. They had it bad or they had it good.
Yeah.
Like you and our other boy, I'm not gonna say his name because whatever, but you both caught it. One's fully vaccinated, the other one was not vaccinated. Same fucking thing. A day of the
I mean,
flu.
I've
Same
spoken to
symptoms.
3 people who are the same age as me.
Yeah.
Like from similar part of the world, similar build in terms of health,
Yeah.
also smokers. I was the only one vaccinated from that group of 4 people. The 3 of them had the exact same experience as me when I got COVID, which was probably Omicron. And one of them, I mean, had it way lighter than I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure how sick I actually was because I was so anxious, 1. And 2, then I had that stupid thing that happened when they gave me the pump and it fucked up my lungs. So like which of it was COVID and which of it was just bad medicine?
I have a theory that the vaccination facilitated the spread.
You have nothing to back that up.
Yeah, I don't know about
that's-
that.
It has. I have nothing to back it up, but
It's not even a theory. It's just a statement like,
Yeah.
in the
if
wind.
if you look at the
I know what you're gonna say. I kind of because you look at the graph of people that are getting vaccinated, but here's the problem with
We're
that.
also not locked down anymore.
No,
so
no,
that
no, no, no.
skews the
Nothing to do with that.
variables.
If you have 1,000 people, let's say 1,000 people, and there's a disease spreading, okay, and then right now you have 0% people vaccinated because it doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, he's right.
The second in us, we have high percentages of vaccination rates. The second the majority are vaccinated, this is still spreading, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it even simpler.
So now
for-
you're gonna be like, oh my god, look at this, bro. 90% of the people who have it are vaccinated. Yeah, but 90% of the population is vaccinated. So there's a higher chance that someone who gets
I'm
it is
gonna give you a
vaccinated.
different
it's not
example
because
to
it's
prove the
making
same
you.
point.
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
because it's
Because
making you.
if you observe the
That's what-
curve,
so I'm gonna give you a simpler example, okay?
Right.
So let's say there's a massive outbreak of a disease X, right?
Yeah.
Give me an African country, any African country, name one.
Angola.
Okay, Angola, and they also have one in Norway.
Yes.
Okay, and they say it seems the graph seems to graph now that the second outbreak has happened in Angola that black people are disproportionately affected by the virus. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you see, ever since it spread to Angola,
All the black people are
80%
getting
black
it.
people have it.
But that's 'cause that country's 100%
but they're-
black.
They're doing an average of.
Yeah.
So there's no black people in Norway. I mean, there is, but
No, yeah.
no,
It's,
no, no, no. I was just
it's
looking.
just not.
Oh, by the way,
but
also
stop saying no, no,
speaking-
just
no,
saying yeah.
no,
but-
Speaking of
it's
Africa,
not the same
speaking
thing.
of Africa, Congo and stuff like that, that's also a statistic they don't like to mention. The fact that people weren't getting vaccinated there and they just, all right, we're cool.
I thought that was all chalked up to the fact that they receive anti-malaria treatments. and
No,
antivirals.
they tried to say different, but if that's the case, antivirals, then ivermectin would be a good.
That's
thing
why it
too.
was never publicly said.
Anyways,
it was just
it's
like
not that. I don't
suppressed.
think it's the antivirals. From what I understand from my friends in who are Congolese, they go no.
You know Congolese people?
Of course,
I'm just talking
Well,
about.
we have a couple
Which
of
Congo?
comedians in here in Quebec.
I'm
that
talking
are-
about this. That doesn't specify who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated. I'm just saying people were getting just as much tested around this area.
No, they weren't.
Of course they were. What are you talking about? People
Yeah,
were
yeah.
freaking out. We knew
They were
even less
freaking
what it
out,
was.
yeah.
The testing from January 15th to August
Wait,
9th
this is
of
what
last
year?
was way lower.
Check.
We didn't
Last
have-
year, no, last year was way higher.
you
Everyone
crazy?
January, you don't remember? Everyone went crazy after the holidays last year.
Yeah.
Compared to this
Yeah.
year over the holidays, between November and March during the Omicron wave, where the fucking test
Yeah.
centers has lined up for days. No,
Because they
are you
even
talking
stopped testing here at that point. Remember, they said
Then
you
they
can't even get
stopped and
tested.
they
People were less
started
freaked out.
making up
People
the
even
numbers.
Yeah.
when somebody caught Omicron, people were like, "Oh, you caught Omicron anyways."
Yeah,
whatever."
exactly. No,
They didn't
last
care.
year was
Last
the
year.
last year people thought they were going to
after
die.
January
So hold on.
5th, but from
let me finish
at
my
beginning
argument.
of December to January, that's
I'm
not
listening,
true.
I'm
It's a little bit weird that
listening.
people were getting even more tested at that time period, and there weren't as many infections. But now, after both,
You're forgetting one variable.
let me
though.
finish, please.
Yeah.
After both, thingamajigs in your arm,
Yeah, yeah.
Jigamahoos.
there's a huge, because I don't want to say it, there's a huge spike in infections.
Okay, I will
It's a
say.
little bit- Can
I go first?
I will say. Let me go first on this one. I will say yes. I see what you're saying. However,
weird.
you're forgetting one thing. The new variant that we're talking about now, when everything spiked, was less lethal, super contagious.
And
You're
I want
right.
to jump
I did
on
forget
top-
about
hold on.
that.
Super
You're right.
contagious.
You're
One
right.
more
You're
thing.
right.
I'm going to jump on what he just said.
Yeah.
Pfizer themselves came out and said that the current technology that we've had 3 doses of isn't really built for Omicron. So basically, we were all in the same boat again.
Okay, yeah.
So
they were
It
useless.
doesn't
Okay.
hold your theory at all.
Yeah, no, it's not because that it didn't make people more sick. There's 2 dangers with them. One is that they weren't effective at all, which what we're seeing now. So they weren't really as effective as they said. That was
It's
a lot
crazy
of lies.
how little effectiveness they've showed for children. That's crazy that they ever forced that on people.
Now, so this is the thing. They forced it on people under false pretenses, lies. People believed it, took it like a religion, started fighting with their own family members. If you don't take it, this and that, with their own family members.
I've gotten into it with people.
I've heard crazy stories
People
of,
stopped speaking to their own family members because they believed a myth. Because
Their
they were
own
lied to.
children.
It wasn't 100% their fault. They were lied to. Now that this is coming out, it's not in the news. You have to go seek out the documents. You got to sit there and read 30 fucking pages. He read fucking 40 the other night. He's like, yeah, this is done. We have to go find other people that are summarizing it to make it easier, which is insane. This should be the biggest news everywhere, right? The stuff that they're talking about, what can happen long term and how it's going into the liver and all that shit, the way it comes back out. If there are long term side effects, like bad ones for society or whatever, something does have to be done that they can no longer be exempt from getting sued, because that's fucked up. The fact that they lied during the trials, they did so many nefarious things for us to accept it, then they should get fucked over. I agree.
I think
If-
at some
Pfizer-
point they're going to come out and say, we did the wrong thing, but we did it for the right reasons. That's what they're going to say.
fuck
That's
that.
gonna
I
be
don't
their
accept that.
defense.
I don't accept
know,
that.
neither do
Nah.
I. I'm just
Now,
saying.
if
Nah, bro. I think they did it for money.
Now, if the worst thing that happens is just that they lied about the efficacy and it really wasn't that effective, we could have gone through this without it, but no one's going to get hurt. Whatever, bro. At this
Okay,
point, it
that's
sucks.
a best case scenario.
It sucks,
Yeah.
but
That's what I hope
whatever. Yeah, but whatever.
But looking at the documents, I don't think that's a
I remember
scenario
speaking with
that's-
Greeks at the cafe. They're like, whatever, bro. It's just naraki. They kept saying, they're like, not even putting anything in us. It's all for show.
Yeah.
I was like, I really hope you're right.
What's Christine saying?
She's been saying a lot today. What did you put her on payroll or
I don't
something?
know if she's talking about me, they, them. I'm not sure.
They, them. What, are those your pronouns now?
Are those no?
Are you they theming?
Oh, they're just having a conversation with somebody else in the chat, I
Oh.
think.
Does anyone
Sons of
else
bitches.
see the person she's talking to besides Christine?
Click live chat.
Too easy. I couldn't.
They're not arguing though.
No, I think they're just having a conversation.
Good. Then I forget what I said.
Yeah, well,
Carry on.
we exchanged words about being aggressive towards the other people in
Yes.
the chat, so that's been taken care of.
Okay. Very nice.
She
Yeah.
understands. I understand her position. We're good.
So yeah. So but there's a lot of people that.
Can I have this?
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. There's a lot of people that are to blame for this. For example, yes, Pfizer fudged the numbers, lied about a lot of stuff, but we knew this, right?
They didn't fudge the numbers. Hid the numbers.
It's the same fucking thing, bro.
No, it's worse. They didn't even pretend. They're just like, no, you can't see it. Just take our word for it. Everything's fine.
But
Take
then,
our word
okay,
for it.
who's more? Here's the other question: who's more culpable? The government, who said, "All right, they don't want to show us that. That's cool. Let's just force it on people." They might be more guilty than Pfizer.
I think the only way you'll ever hear a mea culpa situation
Because I
is
didn't.
when a government changes 10, 15 years from now and then
Yeah.
goes back and said, that government, that's
Yeah, yeah.
technically still us, but from 15 years ago, they fucked you.
Look, I'm not
We're
supporting.
condemning them.
I'm not supporting Big Pharma. They get sued a lot for. They pull this kind of shit. I'm not saying they're good. They're very bad people. But
still need
we
them,
did not vote. I did not vote for Pfizer. I did not vote for Big Pharma. I had no say in it. We did vote for our governments. So theoretically, you're supposed to trust
For
them.
yourself.
You're supposed to trust them, right? To have what's in your best interest.
Yeah.
Right? Your best interest at heart, let's say. So if they said, no, we didn't see that, then, dude, yeah, okay, we can't sue Pfizer. Let's fucking sue the guy. That's crazy if that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
100% people should start suing. I agree with that.
Let's see where this goes because
The system is...
they're really hiding this shit now. Because I think maybe it's because they realize even the most hardcore supporters and pro-vax and even people don't want to do it now. They have no argument
Yeah.
because of what,
those
and they're
people-
scared to lose them.
No, you're wrong. They won't lose them because they won't look for that information.
That's psychotic, though.
It's crazy.
The
truth, though.
Even worse, I've seen online, bro. The documents came
They
out.
look at it and they're like, it's like, what color is this, Poseidon? Bro, that's green.
bro,
What color is it, Poseidon?
Red.
It's green because Trudeau said all Esco water is green.
Exactly.
But you see it, right? Yeah, I see it. It's clearly green. That's where we are.
Yeah, basically, bro, insane, bro. My head almost exploded.
I was watching people post screenshots and say, wow, this is scary. Not even like a big statement, just wow, I can't believe I did this.
Yeah.
And people going, what are you freaking out about? The only real side effects are feeling good about your community, a sore arm.
What?
And I was like, bro,
Yeah.
he's right there. Literally
Some
in
people
front
even
of you.
saying it's unreliable. The source. What's your source?
Yeah,
It's
like when the
unreliable.
fact checkers check
Oh,
it. That's
this was
best.
the best thing. Yeah.
But it came from
Yeah,
Pfizer.
the source is
It's from
Pfizer.
Pfizer.
Yeah.
It's from Pfizer, bro.
Dude, it's a cult. It's turned into a cult.
It's insane, bro.
Yeah, it's turned. The masks are culty too, but they're trying to get rid of the masks. I think mid-April they go here. They're gonna no longer be mandatory. The masks are a cult too. By the way, the masks.
I have a great story.
I
if you
hope
want.
we do keep one thing about it.
What?
I do like is the Asian model of people that are
If you feel sick, wear a mask.
If you feel sick, so you don't get other people sick. If that stays,
Yes, 100%.
bro,
agree.
I'm all for that shit. Why
agree.
not? That's you have to take the good, right? Take the positive. Just don't throw the baby out with the
I
bathwater.
think
But
there's,
the theater, the mask theater, is fucking
You saw DeSantis,
hilarious.
right?
By the way, DeSantis, who I made fun of,
Super
but
aggressive the way he did that, though.
not really.
seemed aggressive.
He seemed aggressive. He was pissed because it was theater. It was dumb. But I agree with him.
But they're
when
children.
That's why it was dumb.
Yeah,
He was unmasked and they were masked.
that's true.
It's so stupid. He was correct to be dumb about it.
I'm not saying he was incorrect. I just feel
Yeah.
like he came hard on kids.
That's a lie.
Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. No, that
That second it left my
he
mouth.
but then I love that they cut out. If you don't watch the full clip, they cut out the fact at the end. He goes, "If you want to," he goes, "If you want to keep it, fine, keep it, but you don't have to."
Every clip
They
I've seen has that part.
Okay,
It's
thank
just-
God.
yeah.
I saw one that didn't have it. That was the first one I saw, and I was like, "Yo, this guy's
It's
crazy."
just, he's so
He was
intense.
just yelling at kids.
He's so intense, and he's like, if you want, like, whatever.
yeah.
But I was like, yeah, if someone yelled at me like that and I was 15, I'd be like, and he's like, if you want, I'd be like, yeah, bro.
But it is dumb
is,
because
of
all
course.
those kids, if they weren't there in front of the camera, would have had that shit off with each other. It's so
See
crazy.
that crazy woman yelling about her, DeSantis, my son, he didn't
Yeah,
know. And she's not wearing a mask, but her son's in a mask.
Yeah, not just that. His own friends were making fun of him apparently online because he doesn't want to wear the mask. But his mom came out and was like, "Oh, I guess I felt weird." It's all theater, my friends. Theater.
25, 26 likes. Should I give it a dislike?
Theaters.
Theaters, yeah.
Yeah, just be careful. Don't get brainwashed. Hopefully, people can apologize to their loved ones that they got into fights with over nothing.
I wonder.
Are you trying to kill your neighbors?
What did Christine say? It's not gonna happen next month. It's gonna be mask. If you wanna It's gonna be mask if you wanna.
Ask her to redo it with
What is
punctuation.
by the way, for someone who doesn't like the they them, she goes, and people are already planning to bully? She goes, people are planning to bully masked people.
Which people are planning
people
this?
are
you
planning
planning to bully people?
Yeah, this sounds
How
like
can you speak for someone you don't know?
yeah, this sounds like disinformation.
I mean, we do
It
that.
does sound like
sometimes.
disinformation, but let's say it was true for a second, right?
Yeah, there's a whole plot.
Hasn't it been for the past 2 years that masked people are bullying non-masked?
Oh,
people
100%. Yeah, they're beating the
So
shit out of them. They're taking them out of
There you go.
stores.
There you go.
Yeah.
People have been punched.
Yeah.
They've
They
decked
have
in the
been
fucking
punched
face.
because they're not wearing masks. But I will say one thing. I don't want to see the pendulum swing. In a month,
I agree with you.
the fucking goal is not if someone's still wearing a mask. Because you have to understand, if someone is still wearing a mask, you're going to have two people wearing masks. You're going to have people who legitimately are scared because of everything that happened the last 2 years. And they think
possible,
it's...
yeah.
So, more power to them. There's no reason to attack.
I may still wear my mask in certain instances where I like to sneer at people and they can't see.
And
me.
you're gonna have other people that because they took it too far politically, they're gonna wear it as a, like I said, like a religious symbol. Even then,
what about-
why would you attack someone if they want to wear it or not? It's up to you.
I
It's up to
agree
them.
with you. But let's say
Because what's next? Hold on a second. What's next? Next, you're gonna think it's cool if you don't like veils to attack veiled women.
They've already been doing that.
But is that cool?
No, it's not cool.
So be careful. Don't fall for that shit.
no, but when for the past 2 years you've been shit on and physically assaulted.
Who assaulted you?
Not me personally.
The Tim Hortons
talking about,
guy. the
whoever.
people, put your fucking mask on. So even here, he's been verbally
Well,
assaulted.
nobody
here many
would.
times.
Yeah,
I mean,
verbally assaulted.
verbally-
Yes, verbally, but
That's
physically.
a very strong choice
No,
of
no, no.
words. He's never been verbally assaulted.
Yeah, he
He's been
has.
I have.
Yeah, he has.
confronted.
No, he was verbally assaulted downstairs. The guy was
times.
getting,
Happened.
took
Many
his
times.
photos.
Tell
I'm
me,
gonna,
tell me.
you fucking asshole. I'm gonna put this on.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by one of these fuckers that works right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fucking nerd bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby Snacks. Bro, let's just burn their whole office down. Hypothetically.
Okay.
Hypothetically.
That doesn't.
In
I
a
don't think that's how
script.
that works.
In a script of a movie that I'm writing.
Oh, for fuck's
Suck a
sake.
bag of dicks,
Anyways,
you fucking narcs.
You knocked yourself.
No,
You're online.
Nobody would have the balls to physically assault
yeah.
me due to this because I'm
a large, rotund man.
I'm going to turn them inside out, literally.
Sexy.
But you know, people have been getting fucking physically and verbally assaulted by people for the past 2 years because they don't want to wear a mask or whatever.
That is
They've
true.
been humiliated online, and
Yeah.
there have been groups of people pointing them out. And it's only natural. I'm not defending anyone. I'm not. saying
Okay.
it's
I
only
see
natural.
what you're
You
saying, and
understand?
I will say one thing, and it goes to Christine too. That is something that I didn't take into consideration, and I should,
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like, I'm the victim. Look, they bullied me. They said this. They've been the victim and bullied. Like, so
Exactly.
I'm not saying it's right because if you keep fighting fire with fire, there's always going to be fire.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to have to concede at one point. However,
It's a microcosm of racism.
However, I did make a mistake, and you're 100%. I did make a huge mistake that I didn't take that into consideration. That there has been a lot of bullying, harassment on the other way too. But the way to fight that is not with more bullying and harassment.
I've
It
already
isn't,
seen
no.
a lot of aggression coming from the Jab is Poison group.
Yeah,
Now that the documents are on, they're like, "You fucking idiot!"
I was right the whole time.
Fuck you guys.
I get that. Look, I get the.
I get the
I get
urge.
the. I told you so. I'm fine with it. Here's what I'm gonna say. Try to
stoop
view
to
it the
the
way
same
this.
level.
No. This is how I view it. Even the people that were extra aggressive with you and they were like, if you don't get jabbed, you're fucking the community, whatever. Yes, it was dumb, but at the time, with the information they had in hand, they thought
not
they were
fair.
doing
That's
the
not
right
fair what
thing.
you're
They
saying.
thought they were doing the right thing. What do you mean it's not fair?
'Cause
You
they
got
both had the
jabbed
same-
because of
They
what?
both had the same information at hand.
You got jabbed, no?
I got jabbed.
Why'd you get jabbed? Did you feel when you got jabbed? Did you feel that you were getting tricked, that it was going to poison you, all that stuff?
Partially.
That's not what you said.
I was worried about it.
You said you got
but
it because you thought it was the safer route.
I thought it was the safer route.
Okay.
I didn't say no.
Why did you think it was the safer route?
Exclusive because I was very frightened by what they were saying about COVID.
But there you go. Why'd you think it was a safer route? Because the information you had at hand.
Yeah.
You made a conscious decision as an adult,
But
right?
I
Yeah.
and someone my age from Montreal
Yeah.
who chose not to get
Yeah.
vaccinated had the same information given to them.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The way you had the information, the way you saw it, you did it based on the information.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you read the information maybe differently than your neighbor who said, don't get it, okay?
Yeah.
Because he went with percentages. Well, look, it's not really that dangerous. You said, I don't care, even 1%. For me, it's fucking too much.
Fair.
Okay. It was based on that. It wasn't based on hatred or fuck Phil. I'm just going to go
Oh no, yeah.
So right now, what you have to
I love
understand
Phil.
is view it as, because they didn't have none of this information and they weren't reading into it as you did, let's say, it does not mean that you have to continue being enemies with people because they got jabbed earlier, they didn't, or whatever the fuck. Understand that both of us,
Yeah.
there was information that was hidden from us. We tried our best with what we had at hand.
And some people just started to be
And some
self-righteous.
people, just went fucking overboard. chalk it up to a drunken night. Chalk it up to a bad fucking experience and try to move forward as society. Because if we continue like this, it's like, oh, you see, I was actually right, and then you start fucking them over. It's never gonna end because then all they're gonna do is wait for the chance when they're right about something else, and then come back. And it's like these little like vendettas. It's like vendettas.
This is
vendettas don't end.
They never end. This is why you don't stoop to the level. You just
super chat.
Yeah, so I don't give a shit if you don't want to wear the mask. It's not gonna be mandatory. You don't want to wear it. You want to wear it. I never forced anyone to wear it here. I never forced anyone to wear it here. Either way, do what it. No, I never forced anyone.
Stay in my office. Or
No.
Take it off.
Wear it or don't wear it. However, if you see someone, let's say you get in an elevator and one guy's wearing it, he could even, it has nothing to do with COVID. Maybe he's sick and he's got the new method now, the Asian method of I'm sick, I don't want other people to catch it.
Call it that though, the Asian.
I like the Asian method. Yeah, maybe it's that, or no. So and even vice versa. Don't be like, why aren't you wearing a mask? No, just fuck off with that shit. Do you?
Yeah,
do
there
you
go.
And fuck off, or else we're not gonna move forward. This whole fighting bullshit has to end.
And
we have to fight the real enemies.
100%.
Sweden.
What about the Swiss?
Again, all the time, bro.
I'm giving them a break.
I think what people don't appreciate about the vaccination thing is that it was pushed onto them.
Oh, no, yeah. If a public official says, because what a blanker said.
Blankers dropped $5 ruse, $dollar in the super chat.
Why do you always say that? Is he Australian?
Sorry? No,
We're wasting time because I got to get out of here.
I'm excited to see public officials tell the public no one was forced or coerced. You made the choice yourself.
Yeah, no, we were coerced.
No,
that's
we were 100%
true.
coerced.
We were even lied to. Yeah.
I'm going to cue the music on
That's
that.
the next evolution of the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
You liked it. That's what you wanted.
Yeah. So don't fight. People made a lot of different decisions. They tried to do what was best for them, guys. Worst case scenario. Well, worst case scenario, we're all gonna die. But best case scenario, we're gonna survive this nuclear apocalypse. Try to be civil with everyone. Just have some fun. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Try and enjoy some podcasts. Talk to people. Maybe reach out to people that you got into a fight with over this shit months ago, and try to bury the hatchet. Bridge the gap.
Them that you want to bridge the gap and then beat them up.
And then beat them up. No, we were all traumatized for a couple of years.
We are.
So excuse some of their fucked up behavior on either side. Try your best to be cool. This life is very, very short. Whether you have COVID or not, we don't get to stay on here long. So the time that you're here, try to be happy and make other people around you as happy as you can. Tour dates we got some new dates announced. Look, the May 20th Quebec City date is confirmed. We're just not announcing it. We're gonna announce it after the March 31st rodage is done because it includes the tour name and all that and the official imagery. So we want to put that out after the rodage is done. That's the only reason why we're keeping it. But if you're in Quebec City, May 20th in French, I will be there running my hour. We're talking now with Toronto. Try to get me down there in English, obviously, and some other places in Canada. Also New York. I'm looking at New York as well. So there's a couple of things in the works. Patreon.com/Pantelis. The man in front of me, the bald assassin, the bald badass, Phil Balabanos, can make a commercial for you. Phil Balabanos is an award-winning filmmaker, and he makes commercials and short films. Full feature film coming soon. That's it. That's all the information you're getting about that. Balabanos.com. Check him out. He will make a propaganda film for your product. He's very good at what he does. Check out his stuff online. The links are in the description. He's the best in the city. And this city generally is better than everywhere else in the country, so he might be the best in the country. It's hard to dictate that, but it's probably true. The Poseidon 69 on Twitter and on Instagram, twitch.tv/ThePoseidon69 to watch this sorry sack of shit play some video games. He loves Elden Ring. He could be streaming it for you guys. You could enjoy it with him, and he loves it so much, it might rub off on you because he's really making it rub off on me. He's also rubbing off by himself when he's playing Elden Ring.
How'd you know, bro?
2 drink minimum every week. New episodes drop of that. So thank you guys. PantelisComedy.com. Go fuck yourselves. Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Bye, guys.